Let's see if it will come on. Big technical issue. I think we might have actually appeared. Have we appeared? I think we're here. Blimey, we have been having some technical problems here, guys. I tell you, YouTube just would not do this. So
let us know you can hear us and see us, and we'll crack on.
Yep, we can't see chat at the moment, so that's a problem.
So how are you guys doing? Have you had a good week? It's been
Hello, Daniel Teckers is here.
It's been a dramatic week in football this week with some interesting results and the announcement this morning that grassroots football can come back from September, which is very exciting. So
yeah,
it's been a bit of a big news week in football this week.
So who we got in? At the moment we've got Daniel Teckers in. Hello, Daniel. How are you? Mark Porter. Hi, Liam. You keep asking me to shout out for you. I will give you a shout out for your channel. The only thing I was going to chat with you a bit earlier on, really, it's when we get back to football. Obviously, we'll try and do an interview with you and stuff and get you on one of the one of the football games where we get 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 views on a video, but on this it's not going to get you much traction. Plus also, most of the people on this channel are actually adults, and you need to, with your channel, with you only being 9 years old, you want to start finding all your school friends and friends that you have in your contacts and start getting them to subscribe to your channel, and also getting in with other young YouTubers is where you want to go to get your group, because obviously 40, 50-year-old men are not going to want to watch things that are done by a 9-year-old, but 9-year-olds are going to want to watch 9-year-old stuff. So that's where you need to be going with that, Daniel. So
we've got a few in. We've got
Liam.
We've got Mark Porter. Hi, Mark from Clitheroe. We've got Dan Splaining, Mike Robinson, and Cods Vlogs. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Ben. Yeah, I mean, Ben's a younger YouTuber, and he can probably give you some advice on when you're only 9 years old. It's that you've got to be kind of collaborating or meeting up with young 9-year-olds, and they're all the ones that are going to follow you through and keep watching your videos, because you want people to watch your videos. So I'll certainly give you a shout out. It's Liam White 9, isn't it, on YouTube? If anybody wants to subscribe to Liam, by all means do.
So yes, it's been an interesting week in the world of football. Wigan beat Hull 8-0 earlier this week, which was I think the Hull fans aren't very happy that they're in a mess and possibly coming down. But looking at it from a positive slant, obviously Wigan are really fighting against this 12-point deduction that that is now going to come into play this season. So at the moment, they would just about be okay with the 12-point deduction with 2 games to play. So they're really fighting for their lives to stay up and basically stick 2 fingers up at the league and their owners. So I really, really want them to stay up more than anything. So that's the big football story at the moment that I'm watching with interest.
We've got Paul Maynard in. Hello, Paul. Hi, how you doing? You've probably all seen. Oh, BlueTube. Hello, BlueTube. Yes, we've.
Can you hear us okay, by the way?
Yes.
Down to the one mic.
Yeah, we are just down to one mic today, so we've got one mic between us. So hopefully you can. I'm seeing on the levels there that it looks pretty good, so you can see there. As long as you're coming close to me, it's maybe.
Okay. Dan Spladens is finally able to watch at 3, as I've usually been watching streams of Wigan games. Just drew 2-2 at Charlton. Oh. Well, it's a point. It's a point, isn't it? And I know that Hull and Luton have got each other to play, haven't they, as well? So, fingers crossed.
Charlton scored in the 94th minute to rescue a 2-2 draw, says Ben. Hi, Ryan from Scotland. How are you doing?
Hi, Ryan.
How's Scottish football? Is it still an absolute mess, as it always is every time we talk to Ryan? Napper's Mum, hi, Jill.
Hello.
Hopefully our sound, I'm just trying to get this sound right, because we're on one mic, so I'm a little bit louder than Jane, so no problem with our splitter. So hopefully that's fine. You can hear us both. I'm making note of that. Our peaks there, but hopefully it should all be fine.
So Leeds United have been promoted this week as well, so that's great news for them after, I think it's 16 or 18 year absence from the top flight. So they're very excited about that. They were all out celebrating last night. And the second spot is looking very interesting because West Brom lost, so Brentford are potentially, if they win their game in hand, they could finish second and get the last automatic spot. So that's exciting. Oh, Ben says the quiz was ace the other day. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. And Blue Chew's asking what happened on one of the piers yesterday. Well, it was actually in the early hours of the morning, about 3:30, 3:40 in the morning. A fire started in some sort of it's like a maintenance shed on the middle of the pier. That set off. Unfortunately, the fire brigade got there in time, and they had a bit of luck really because the tide was out, and also there wasn't a lot of wind to fan the flames. So they managed to be able to get on as well as attacking it from above. They also got below with the fire engines onto the beach and hosed it underneath as well. So they managed to more or less contain it in the one building. I think somebody's posted on my video that they may have lost one of the rides.
The waltzers.
The waltzers maybe gone as well. But I mean, it's lucky because these fires on piers can just take the whole pier out. So fortunately, they managed to control it. So
Brentford have lost 1-0 to Stoke.
Oh well,
that's a shame.
That is a disaster. Yeah, for Brentford, they must be sick. They must be absolutely sick.
Ben says he can't wait to start getting vlogging and growing again. Stuck on 5.22k. Well, that's not bad, Ben. That's not a bad place to be stuck.
We'd like to be stuck on 5.22k.
How long have you been doing the vlog to get up to those numbers? Because that's very impressive. I mean, we can see you do great work, and it's a great channel. So just interested to see how long it's taken to build that up.
Yeah, Mark Porter's just said he actually follows Ben, even though he's a Pill fan, so don't tell anyone. But,
yeah, we do.
But we follow him as well, simply because, well, he's quality, isn't he? He's got a lot of enthusiasm, and we actually enjoy watching his content. And
also, it's about passion and football at the end of the day. I mean, we watch Sunderland till I die. We're not Sunderland fans, but it's still football. Yeah, so
it's always good for a bit of banter as well. At the end of the day, if you beat him, or he beats us, so it makes it a little bit more sort of. There's a little more on it when we know we're playing Fleetwood. We know we've got to try. We know we've got Ben bursting to beat Blackpool. So it puts a lot of pressure on us. We feel the strain of the Fleetwood. We're thinking, oh God, we can't lose to Ben. So it makes it good.
Mr. Morley wants an explanation for why we were late. If he was waiting on a dead link.
Yes, well, what happened was YouTube just would not live stream, and I had to restart the whole YouTube thing and restart my browser and everything, and it finally came back up. But we were getting panicky, really. We didn't think we were going to start at all at one stage. It was looking pretty bleak, wasn't it? I was sitting pulling my hair out. We just couldn't get the live stream to get going, and we're actually on a wired connection as well. We're not on Wi-Fi, we're on a wired connection, so there's nothing wrong our end, but YouTube is just not playing the game. Daniel Tucker says we're getting close to 2k. Yes, we are. Yes, I've had a little bit of a bump just purely by going and doing a little 1-minute video on the fire on the pier. It seems to have pulled in about 30 odd people, which is so we're nearly to 2,000. So
get there soon.
Blue Chew's been stuck on 800 for way too long. It drives you crazy, and with the football not being on, you don't get as good a chance to kind of get the subscribers in, because obviously all your football content people are watching, and it's difficult. We've had, I've tried all sorts of things, but we have we've done, I've done the the lockdown walks, which were quite successful, and of course this new video about the fire, and also I did the Blackpool is back, I went down and filmed the promenade and showed everybody the South Pier busy and all that. So you've just got to be a little bit creative on trying to think of things that you can do that don't damage your channel, but also sort of get your viewers in. But without football, it's a little bit difficult at the moment.
Mr. Morley asks, was the league getting a little bit fraught, Jane? Not at all.
Yes, you can tell. You can tell, can't you? I'm full of angst today. Honestly, I've been. I tell you.
Hopefully, I only arrived for the last 2 minutes.
The air has been blue here in Leeds TV Towers. I tell you,
I've just been sat in the conservatory reading my book, so I escaped most of it. Nappa's mum says, thank you to the 10 fire engines that saved Central Pier. Our emergency services are not recognised enough. Very true. My middle son was part of the rescue. Thank you, guys. You're all appreciated. Yeah, indeed. They did a great job because we saw the photographs, didn't we? The flames, and you fear the worst, don't you, on a wooden construction like that? But yeah, they did a brilliant job.
Connor Moy is saying he's listening to the live with his new AirPods.
Oh, they're great, aren't
flexing.
they?
Yeah, Jane's got some AirPods. You can tell him what you think of them. They're amazing.
Oh, I think they're fantastic. Yeah, I love how you can just sort of tap them. You feel like you're on Star Trek or something.
Yeah.
Tap if you don't like the track that's playing, just double tap and you get the next one. And yeah, it's really good. And I love my favourite bit is that the way Siri responds to you when you're like, "Hey Siri," and he goes, "Mm-hmm."
Oh, he responds different, does he? When
yeah.
Oh wow,
yeah, he's a lot
really
sexier
cool.
in your ears. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's really good. I found it great. I mean, you probably won't find this of interest, but if I'm pottering around the house doing some, tidying up or whatever, you can just do it with your AirPods on and listen to your tunes while you're bopping around. Maybe I need to be doing more of that.
Right. Nick Muller. Hello, Nick. Our
Nick.
resident Ipswich expert. Fans seeing fans back by October. We've heard that as well. John Haley is saying no more Adams Park because Wycombe beat Oxford. What are your thoughts on that, Jane? You're not a big fan on Adams
if you
Park,
watched my video from Adams Park, you will know that it was I just didn't want to be there at all. It was a horrible night. I mean, it's quite it was a midweek game. It's a long way to go. And then we got there, and unfortunately there was the helicopter on the pitch because the fan that was taken ill and sadly later died. So the game didn't kick off until almost 9 o'clock. And remember, this is a midweek game, and so I think and then we were 2-0 down in 8 minutes. So it was just like and it was really cold, and I was just sat there like
really late.
I don't want to be here.
What time did you get back from that game?
I think it was 3 o'clock. I got home.
It was almost as bad as Ben's. Yeah, because
so
it didn't kick off till really late.
No, so I'm not disappointed to not be going back there next season.
No, it wasn't a favourite. Was
it? Oxford's a good one. There's a lot of good pubs in Oxford, so that'll be nice to go back there if we can. Good
news for Daniel Teckers. Cod's Vlogs has just subscribed to you, Daniel. So everybody subscribe to Daniel Teckers. If you're watching this, let's try and get him to 1,000 because you need to get to 1,000. It's kind of where you can start to monetize your videos, and also subscribe to Liam White 9 as well if you can. If we've got any young viewers, then obviously Liam's a young YouTuber trying to do young boy things.
Fulham are 1-0 up.
He's near 10. He's getting near to 10.
Tangerine Tom, hi Tom. Nappa's mum says Sunderland's chairman's quit.
He's the guy that was on.
Well, they're in a hell of a mess, aren't they, Sunderland? Yeah. It's going to be a cracking third series of Sunderland till I die, with them missing out on promotion, and I think there was some controversy over tickets, wasn't there? Refunding fans for the tickets.
It's been murder, hasn't it?
So yeah, that'll be. Yeah, it's definitely a soap opera there. Well, every club's a soap opera, isn't it? Some of them you get to hear about, and some things you don't get to hear about. But there's all sorts that goes on in that football community. So yeah.
Connor's Mr. Melly says Connor's mum calls them earbuds.
Earbuds are.
They are a bit like things in your ear, but they kind of the thing with the Apple, with the earbuds is when they first came out. They were, people saying, "Ooh, these white sticks hanging down from your ears," but they've kind of become like a fashion statement over the years, and people just assume them to be an Apple product, and people don't bat an eyelid at them now, really, do they? They look kind of cool. Apple made them cool.
The only thing is, when I've got headphones on, I used to use headphones, the wired headphones, to sort of keep people away, and if I'm listening to an audio book or something, and if you've got if you've got hair, obviously, and you've got your AirPods in, people can't necessarily see that you've got your headphones in, so they'll still try and come and talk to you, and you're like, actually, So it's kind of
just put your hair behind your ears when you're on a train,
or maybe get a T-shirt just saying,
put your hair in a
don't
bun,
interrupt me,
ponytail,
put my hair in a bun.
We could have a we could maybe there could be our new T-shirt. I've got Apple Buds in, don't disturb.
Yeah. Can't hear you.
Right.
Tangerine
Danny's here.
Dan Mansplaining says Jane should do vlogs on the best pubs and chippies in Blackpool. Imagine the views. Tourists would love it. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually, is it? I did go to the pub this week for the first time, which was, I thought it would be really quite odd. It was odd sort of leaving the house to go to the pub because I'm like, well, I need to take things with me. What do I need to take?
Yeah.
So I got my handbag. I'm like, what goes in a handbag? Because I've not used a handbag since March. So I'm like, what do I need? I'm like, well, a card, because we don't do cash anymore. Cash isn't a thing. So like my card, what else? And hand sanitizer, I've forgotten I had to come back for, even though they got it in the pubs anyway. It's just nice to have your own, isn't it? I thought, oh, my masks, just in case I might need that, and my key to get back in the house. And I think that was it. But it was like weird, like just things that you would normally do every day, like, you know, put things in your handbag. And
I've done it for so long.
so it was very odd. And then going to the pub, it was sort of relatively normal. You had to queue to get in, and there was a lady there waiting to seat you. And then she explained. She said, "Oh, ask if you've been there before, you know, after it's reopened." And she explained what to do, and basically stay at your table unless you've got to go to the bar. And then when you go to the bar, you order your drinks and then go away, and they'll bring them to you. So that was quite good. Are you allowed to get up to go to the toilet, or get, you know, if you want to go out for a cigarette around the back, you could have done that. But other than that, it's just like you just sit and carry on as normal. It's kind of nice. I thought it was nice having the table service, because it's like being on your hollybobs, isn't it? You always get table service in Europe in the bar, so it's kind of a nice thing. And I used the toilets, and I felt safe and relaxed. So and it was pretty busy. So yeah, definitely be doing that again. It's nice. Now I've done it once and sort of got over that barrier, and actually it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. So yeah.
Right, we've just got a few people to say hi to. Well, Daniel Tekers is saying he came back from running, so he's so out of breath.
Oh,
so
no.
Where have you been running, Daniel? We need to know how far. And we're going to say hi to Australia, to Rain in Australia. That's that's a new name. So how are you a Blackpool fan, Rain, or a football fan, or how have you come to the channel? It's always amazing when you get somebody from Australia, because I know your time's going to be like getting on for midnight, isn't it? Is it midnight normally, or Australian? So you're up late. So
and how are things in Australia? Did I read that the football had started again and stopped? What's happening over there in the world of football in Australia? And that'd be interesting.
Mr. Moley is in shock because Connor is tidying up.
No, I was suggesting that Connor might tidy up with his AirPods, and he might enjoy tidying up more.
Yes. Oh no, he's
if
not.
He can listen to his music at the same time. So in a bit of a I want to break free kind of thing with a feather duster, maybe.
John Haley's saying the big match on ITV is Chelsea versus Blackpool, 1977.
Oh wow,
worth a watch.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I actually remember that game.
I don't actually know a lot about, as much as I ought to do, about Blackpool in the 1970s, because it was a good period, wasn't it? And I just missed out on it completely because I was either not born or very young at the time.
Ben is asking the question of the day, and I think we can say this jointly together: the worst away day in League One is Rotherham.
But they've gone now, so
it was the worst bloody day. You only have to watch out. You don't even need to ask Ben if you've seen it, because it was bloody awful. I mean, they didn't actually get bottom spot because Jane put Portsmouth down at bottom because of the potential long journey, but really Rotherham were just awful. I mean, the whole day was miserable stewards, miserable people, miserable plays. We hated it. They just sucked the living life out of us, didn't they? And it was
sort of at the time as
and
well,
we were playing bad.
When the football was just getting really wearing us down, and that didn't help. I suppose if we'd been riding high and doing really well, we might have had a better experience.
If we'd have beaten them, we'd have come out a bit happier. But honestly, the stewards were so miserable. They wouldn't even let me. I was trying to, they had some great disabled facilities, and I was just trying to film and just say, look at this, they've got this amazing thing.
Yeah, because we were marvelling at the ground.
Yeah, she came, this old bloody bag came over, so you're not allowed to video, and somebody up there is, so it's just so.
But that's the only ground where we've had any issues with filming at all.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was at Sunderland, I think it was, or I think it was Sunderland, where I was filming. There was a steward, and he could see me filming, and he was like, "Oh, am I in your way? Sorry, look, the steps out." So it's, see how
Thing is, you see,
people
we have a YouTube, and if you treat us bad, we'll put you at the bottom of the league and say you're absolutely garbage and
Well,
recommend nobody goes there.
But that
so
wasn't why. It wasn't for that reason. It was just because it was just a thoroughly miserable day, and that was part of the bad experience that day.
And they were awful at Bloomfield Road as well, Rotherham, weren't they? They kept bringing two subs on, two trainers on to every. They fell over at the handkerchief touched them and they fell over, and then two trainers came on. They're really wasting time. They were awful.
Yeah, Nick says he's glad Wycombe went up, ground middle of nowhere, harder impossible to do midweek. Yeah, I mean, I went on the coach, and it wasn't too bad. The journey there, really, we stopped off. I can't remember where it was. We stopped off it. I don't need to know. I just get taken there and said, here are the pubs. Go and drink for 2 or 3 hours, which was great. So I had a couple of hours in this brewery pub, and so getting there was okay, and getting back, the coach is. I do prefer the train. Definitely prefer the train because you can do your own thing a little bit, and you've got space to get up and walk around. But the coach it's so convenient and it's so cheap. I think that Wycombe trip was about £15 or something. It was a special offer. So coaches, where you have to, that they are.
It's a nice day on the train, on the coach as well, because I went to Reading on the Beezer coach, and we stayed off in where did we stay off in? I can't remember. It'll come back to me in a minute. I should not start the conversation now. I should just keep my mouth shut. But yeah, it was. Oh God, where Henley on Thames? Henley on Thames. We stepped and we kind of crashed a bit of a wedding, and that Sky girl was there. One of the Sky reporters was at the wedding, and it was just marvelous. It was beautiful, and BSA did a really good job, and we found a lovely pub, and it was like a day trip, which Jane has always done away days like that. She's made like a day of it, which is what we tried to show you on the video. So you can make a day of going away, because I never did that. I mean, we would set off and we would try and get there, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour before the game, go straight in the game, get beat, come home. And that was generally that was my view of away days. I never thought of like going on for the day and going on a train and taking in different pubs and having, and experiencing the town and all that, which is fantastic.
Part of the history of why I do that is because I used to be, in my early 20s, I was very type A and very, I can't, and I was really, I couldn't miss a match. I had to be at every match. So I would have to make sure that I was there in good time. So instead of aiming to get there for 2:30, 3 o'clock, I started aiming to get there for basically when the pubs open at 11, 12 o'clock. So I know even if I'm badly delayed, if there's a problem on the motorway or problem on the trains, I've still got that cushion. And it's a case of, I might miss a couple of hours in the pub, but at least I still wouldn't miss the match at the end of that. So that's how it started. But I kind of got used to building in things, especially during my time at Chasetown when I couldn't drink before matches. Start doing things like, when I went to Clitheroe, I went to Clitheroe Castle. And when I went to Colne, we went to Skipton, I think, before the Colne match. So and I've got used to doing things, enjoying the culture, enjoying the pubs, and seeing a bit of the towns that we go to, which is because it's daft, really. Because I mean, I did it for years. I come up to Blackpool, and I literally would come up to Blackpool. We go to the pub, and then we go to the match, and then I go home, and I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm coming to Blackpool. This is Blackpool. There's more to do. So, and it's something now we're doing the videos, isn't it?
Yeah.
If there's something happening on a Saturday morning, we'll go out and find what's going on so we can show you. So it sort of enhances our match day experience, because we're looking out for if there's a memorabilia fair or something, we'll go and hunt that down and make our day more interesting and show. I
make the videos a bit more interesting as well. National League playoffs, Yeovil versus Barnet, 20 minutes still nil, says Connor, our roving reporter, we've got score updater.
We've got a result from
that's
last night there as well. Boreham Wood beat Halifax Town, so they're in they qualified for the semi-finals. These are the first, the first sort of round
to get into the semi-finals. Blue Tube is saying he took the option. I take it you both Ipswich fans, you and Nick, took the option to put onto his season ticket away tickets for next season. So is that all the away tickets or on that Blue Tube? That's quite interesting.
Is that to go to the matches or to watch them on iFollow, or because are we going to be able to travel away to
Oh
matches? I don't know.
maybe it's the iFollow thing.
I don't know if we
They're
are.
also getting some discount on that on the shirts if they do for that, so that's quite interesting. John Halley's recommended read to you is Red or Dead, the story of Bill Shankly at Liverpool, a massive £1.99 from HMV.
I think I did read
hardback
that
as well. Blimey, that's a bargain. And £1.99 for a hardback.
Yeah, no, I have read a book about Bill Shankly, which I think may well have been that one, and yeah, it was very good, very interesting. Very interesting.
Daniel has,
thank you for the recommendation.
Daniel has now confirmed 10 lengths of a football pitch. So how long did we say a football pitch was in our quiz?
Oh gosh, well it can
10
vary.
times that.
Yeah.
How much was it? About 130. Was it about 130 yards?
Let me
we'll check on
consult
it, but it's still quite a long way. That
quiz
Daniel.
Questions from Tuesday.
Right, Rain. I'm a Liverpool fan. Wow, it's 20 past midnight here, and Australia's okay, but not Victoria. Thanks for asking. Wow, you're a Liverpool fan, so it's interesting how you found our channel. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's really good. So yeah, it's 20 past midnight there, so it'd be a late one for you. We do these through. We try and as much as we can to get all the scores in at the end, a bit like Soccer Saturday with Jeff Stelling on Sky, but only better.
And less ranty about Hartlepool. So the length of a football pitch is between 90 and 120 metres.
So 1,200 metres possibly. Mr. Molly's saying, why did I say hi to Australia in a Welsh accent? I didn't. I said, g'day, Australia. I thought that was as put your shrimp on a barbie. I thought that was it's not Welsh, is it? Did it sound Welsh to you, Rain? I don't know. It's not as good as I can do for Australian.
Dan says Rotherham is miserable. Can't argue with that, Dan. Just generally Rotherham, not necessarily the football club, I think.
Yeah, to be fair, Mr. Molly said it. Oh, sorry, we're getting a bit behind the times.
We are. I need to catch up with you.
Where are you?
Rain said found the channel because he needs a football fix and search football live. So here
Oh, cool! That's really cool. I'm glad we came up on that. That's amazing. That's really good. Even though we were a few minutes late.
Yeah, Mr. Merley made a good point. To be fair, I'd be bloody morose if I lived in Rotherham too.
Blue Tube has got to go. Thanks for popping in. Tangerine Army. Hi guys. Which pub did you go to, Jane?
I went to the Highfield. Which is not sort of the best ale pub, but they did have, they just had Doom Bar on. It's not my favourite, but it went down pretty well still, just because it was the first cask ale I'd had for 20 weeks. But no, it was nice. The food was very good. They said the food's all made fresh to order, so it wasn't really what I ordered, but I think this is kind of the world we live in now. I ordered a chicken tikka masala and got some kind of bolty thing, but which I prefer anyway, to be honest.
Right.
But the service was really nice, and I believe that there is.
So you just don't get what you order.
No, but it's kind of like the random. It's like going to the supermarket.
Just a random thing. You order something and something completely different comes. Sorry, we haven't got that, but here you go.
But I like that. I like the lottery. I do like the lottery.
Right, we need
Tangerine
to talk.
Army went to the Velvet Coaster this week, which was fine. Yeah, it looked busy when you were there filming the roof. Funny though, they give out track and trace form, but no pens. And off to Number 10 Ale House next week. Yeah, I think I'll be going to Number 10 Ale House next week as well. Definitely.
Just going to quickly go through the scores for those that need to know the football scores. Charlton 2, Wigan 2 is a full-time score. So that was a battle of the relegation, was it? Charlton, Wigan, did you say? Or was it not?
Sorry,
Stoke beat Brentford. So that's a great result for Stoke. Blackburn are beaten Reading 2-1. Charlton 2, Wigan 2.
Oh,
was that not one?
That's a result, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, were they both struggling at the bottom? Or was it just Wigan struggling at the bottom? Fulham.
Yeah, no, they are. Yeah.
Fulham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. We've got Hull 0, Luton 0. Cardiff are winning away at Middlesbrough, which means if they win that game today, Preston cannot catch them.
We haven't even mentioned Preston.
Are we having a street party in Blackpool when Preston don't make the playoffs? So come on, Cardiff. They're winning 1-0 at Middlesbrough. Preston are drawing 0-0 with Birmingham. QPR are drawing 0-0 with Millwall. And Swansea are drawing 0-0 with Bristol City. So we're all looking at the Cardiff score. Yeovil versus Barnet's 0-0. And that's it at the moment.
Oh, we have David Harrison here from Chasetown. Dave is the kit man at Chasetown. So welcome. Are you still the kit man at Chasetown? I know a few people have left, haven't they? Emma's left and Pammy's left. So, oh, hi. Well, nice to see you. Nice to hear from you, Dave. How are you doing? I've been thinking about you, actually, and hoping you're okay. And you're back down the club again now, getting prepared for the big kick-off. Is it September the 16th?
Hoping the club's going to be okay as well. Are they okay financially, Chase Town? Are they, I mean, I know all that, a lot of the non-league clubs are really struggling money-wise, and just hope you're all okay.
September the 19th.
We actually had a trip down to Chase Town. We were going to film and something went wrong, didn't it? I can't remember.
We were emptying my house, weren't we? And we didn't have enough time. It took longer than expected to move some furniture.
That was it. But we would like to. We're going to come down to Chase Town and take a game one time because it's really lovely. Jane, I went round. You took me round, didn't you? I went in the clubhouse and everything. It's beautiful. It's really
perhaps
nice.
We could pop down because they're likely to kick off before Blackpool.
Yeah, we can maybe come down and do a video and see you.
When we're allowed. They're not. They said they can start pre-season friendlies, but no fans in just yet. So
Dan's Planey saying which away trip were you expecting to be bad, but you actually had a great time? Mine is Shrewsbury. Stadium is miles out of town, but it's a decent facility in the town itself. It's beautiful.
There's some great pubs in
Is there one you went to that you thought was going to be awful, or has it always lived up to expectations of being awful? Lawrence Edwards, hello. We're both okay.
Expecting to be, but I don't really expect anywhere to be bad because I always set out with hope. In the mornings, I think you've got to set out with hope, or else you wouldn't be able to motivate yourself to go, especially when the football's as bad as it was last season. So no, I try and find joy everywhere. So even when we next go to Rotherham, I will find joy somewhere, right? Whether it's in Doncaster or in Sheffield, or I'll probably go to the pubs in Sheffield or something before the game and have a really nice. So there's always joy to be found somewhere. So no, I mean,
I'm just laughing at a couple of comments.
The one that's over, really is better than I expected it to be was Lincoln, because I just obviously fell in love with the place. But I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but it was better than I was expecting it to be.
Right. Tangerine Dancer swears I was next to Jane at Sunderland in the first half. Still can't get over that strike from Matty Virtue. Yeah, it was a wonder strike, wasn't it? And then they went down to 10 men. I can't believe we didn't win that game.
It was very packed in at Sunderland. I was with your lad Sebi, wasn't I, at Sunderland? And I know that
he didn't like that climb.
We were with the standy uppy people, which isn't where I would normally be. It was just where he wanted to be. Yeah, I remember there's someone smoking behind me, and it was pretty. But it was. We should have won that one, shouldn't we?
Nick Mother says on the coach, everyone knows you're going to the toilet, and you can't leave a mess up. They know it's you.
Yeah, very true. Very true. That is an issue.
John Haley says Hull away will be a long trip. Was it a David Bowie fan convention 2017? Not recommended. You quite like Hull, don't you?
I like Hull. Yeah, we played them first game of the season. Probably about 20. It was after we'd been in the
Premier League when Gary Taylor Fletcher scored.
Yeah,
we were in Germany,
and it was a Friday night game.
Yeah,
and it was the first game of the season. So I think I had whether the day off or the afternoon off, and did all the pubs on the Friday afternoon, and then we went to the match on the night, and then did some pubs on the Saturday as well. And it was really good. There's some really interesting pubs in Hull. So yeah, I would look forward to going back there. That would be a good trip, and possibly another epic stay over. And yeah, that could be good.
We were I was on my mate's stag do, and we'd gone to Germany for it, and we found a sports bar in Germany, and it was on, and we got them. They were watching. They weren't really interested. There's like American stuff on, and so we got all the TVs onto the Blackpool match. We had all the Germans singing Gary Taylor Fletcher, Gary Taylor Fletcher. All the Germans were going mad. Like it was ace. We had them all singing, and we won, of course, as well. So it was a really good night. It was fantastic.
Fulham
2-0. Yes, Walk With Me Tim. I'm subscribed to Walk With Me Tim.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
He's really good, yeah. And
he made us want to go to Great Yarmouth, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's got drone shots, which is why I want a drone. But yeah, it's really good. Total great channel. Really, really good. It's got about as many subscribers as me. It's around about our level, but yeah, they're really, really good.
Mark says Oxford played good football, but Wickham had a steely togetherness togetherness and team spirit. They played their hearts out for their manager. Gareth Ainsworth deserves a crack at a bigger club now. Yeah, they were so happy, weren't they? Akin Fenwa was absolutely buzzing at the end.
Yeah, did he say the only one he wanted what was it? The only person he wanted to congratulate him was Jurgen
Jurgen
Klopp or
Klopp,
something. And Klopp actually congratulated. He sent it, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's invited him to the, when they have the parade, to the celebration parade, when they're allowed to have that. He's invited him along to that as well. So
wow, he must be a Liverpool fan then,
I don't know what the story is, to be honest. Anybody know?
The option that BlueTube took regarding the away games was he got his money back towards the season tickets. Was just money back towards the season tickets. Oh, so maybe he'd pay for away tickets and then he just put them on his season ticket. Would that be?
Nick says he always goes for the burger in pubs on football days. Yeah, I mean, I started the season trying to review the pies in the grounds. I thought every away game now I'm gonna have a pie and review it. But to be honest, by the time I got to about the third or fourth, I'm just like, these are terrible. I can't do this to myself, because it came part of my day that wasn't bringing joy. So I'm just gonna have to stop it. At Rochdale, they had rag pudding and chips and gravy in the pub. I thought, I'm having that. I'm not having a pie in the ground. Yeah, that's one thing I did factor in, the eating before the matches.
Daniel Teckers is going to watch the Chelsea-Manchester United game tomorrow. Can't wait. It's excited. Are you a Chelsea fan, United fan, or who do you want to win that one, Daniel? Let us know. Dan's playing. He said Wigan could finish in 13th and still get relegated. The championship is mad.
Yeah, it is. But they're appealing that as well, aren't they? They're appealing the 12-point deduction. So, but I don't know, how quickly do these things happen?
Conor Moy is saying if Cardiff win, it's time to crack open the champagne. It certainly is time to crack it open, and Preston can't catch him then, so that'll be great.
Dave says we both be welcome at Chase Town, and yes, he's still there.
Oh, right, okay.
Excellent. That's good to hear. There's some continuity there. I see there's some players coming in now, isn't there? Some new players being signed this week, which is exciting. So hopefully, are you hopeful for next season?
You'll have to let us know when you start, and maybe we'll have a Saturday.
Yeah, definitely love to go back.
Maybe do Lee Charles live at 3 from Chase.
Yeah, we could do, couldn't we?
We could do the technology for it. We might be able to stream live to you from Chase Town.
And how are you, Dave? Are you okay? How have you been with lockdown and everything? Guess you've still been working. Have you through it?
Trivia question for Mr. Moley. No Googling. Can a football pitch be square? Well, we can.
No. Well, Mr. Moley, if you've been at our quiz on Tuesday nights, we did cover this.
You'd know the answer.
We've got a new round.
We all know the answer. Anybody who's in the quiz knows your answer without Googling.
We've got a new round that was in this week on the rules of the game, which was quite good. I've been on the IFAB website and sort of interesting, sort of educating ourselves really about sort of circumferences of balls and different diameters of the pitch, and
crazy.
But no, that was interesting in that the minimum length and the maximum width of the pitch actually are the same, but it can't be square. So it can maybe, I don't know if you could have it like an inch longer, but I know it can't be square. The law stipulate it can't be square, but the measurements could be the same, except they couldn't. If that makes
Just
sense.
to update you here, the Cardiff Middlesbrough match, obviously Cardiff are winning 1-0, but so far Cardiff have 60% possession. They've had 7 shots to Middlesbrough's 2, 2 on target to Middlesbrough's none, 3 corners against 2, and 1 foul against 6 for Middlesbrough. So it's looking good over there in Middlesbrough.
Ryan's here. Just pop back up.
Back
there. Ryan, hello, the best couple on YouTube, he says. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was on the phone, and yes, Scottish football is the laughing stock of football as usual.
Yes, no KFC in Rotherham. Can you believe that?
I can believe that.
We can believe anything about Rotherham. It's so bad. David Scholes, Lee Preston's paying with far more if they lose in the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs.
No, I think
they'll never make the playoffs.
We'd rather they just didn't get there at all.
They've got to be in trouble. They've spent millions this year.
I suppose it would give them hope, and then for that to be snatched away again. As the worst performing playoff team in history, which we also learned in the quiz that they've been in the playoffs 10 times and won once.
Yeah, fantastic. It's all good. It's fantastic. In fact, it made when Blackpool won at the Millennium Stadium. Brett Ormond scored. I was in Italy because a friend of ours was getting married, and I couldn't go to the game, and I just knew we were going to get to the final because this date was going to clash. And of course, Blackpool won. And fortunately, I had my phone in my pocket, but my dad didn't ring until we were coming out. And as we were coming out of the church, I was walking across this bridge. My phone rang, and my dad's on the phone, you know, just saying, "Oh, it's close here. We were in the lead." And then right as he was on the phone to me, he was saying, "Oh, yeah, it's really tight." And then he went, "Oh, hang on a minute. And I just had this massive roar when one run scored. And he was right as he phoned me. And then, of course, Preston lost the following day, which just made that, oh my God, it made that Italian holiday so good.
He did well to keep his phone during that.
Yeah. And he took my lucky hat with him as well. And it was about 90 degrees and he wore it the whole way through. He had to take my hat that I've been wearing because it was just deemed a lucky hat, so he had to wear it at the Millennium. But I missed that one. But it was super. Preston losing was like just the icing on the cake.
Find a new lucky hat, don't we? Dan says, I do like how the new League One table's being formed. There's a lot of teams in the middle of England and won't be as far to travel to. Well, yeah, no, that's interesting actually. They do seem very sort of nicely spread, don't they? I mean, you have got Portsmouth and Plymouth, which you know, well, there'll be weekend jobs, won't they? But to be fair, I mean, for me, having lived in the Midlands, you know, that would have been great. But now living in Blackpool, everywhere's really far away.
Yeah, so we'll make a weekend of Portsmouth.
I think Lincoln is actually one of our nearest matches, if you look at the map, and it's completely the other side of the country, so...
I think Jane's hoping that they won't allow away fans to travel till in the new year, and we get both of those games early on. So we can't go. Yeah. We'll just watch it on iFollow, and we'll just do a live stream.
To be honest, now though, because it got to the stage where I was just tired of football, tired of traveling, tired of everything, and now it's getting to the point now where I've just been in the house for so long. It's actually to sit on a train for 4 hours actually would be a nice change. So it's getting to this. And I know we can travel now, can't we? We can use public transport now. So
yeah. Ryan saying German singing Gary Taylor Fletcher. Don't you mean Gunter Taylor Fletcher? would Gunter be Gary in German? I don't know, but they were happily singing Gary. Will White. 79. Oh, we've had a
super chat.
We've had a super chat from Will White. Thank you very much, Will. 79p. Wow, I'm gonna go. That's whoa. I tell you,
put that to
that's more money than we've made all summer on YouTube. I don't think I've made 79p on any video I've made. It's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Akin Fenwer is a Liverpool fan. He also scored again.
Just to mention what's just happened there, if you like to just thank us for what we're doing here, you can do a super chat and donate us some money.
79p. Any advance on 79? We're making money. We can have we've almost got a Mars bar there, aren't we, between us? That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Will. That's really appreciated. Honestly, that's top man. Red Room. Oh, afternoon to you
Red.
too. Oh, I haven't spoken to you for ages, Red. Hope you're all right. Daniel Tucker is a Chelsea fan, so he's obviously wanting Chelsea to beat United.
Mark says Akin Fenwer was a massive Liverpool fan. He recently was a guest fan on Sky Sports when they showed the Merseyside derby. He was very vocal with his Liverpool shirt on. Great character. Oh, great. Yeah, he does seem a great character. I think he's a good player. He impressed when they played us. So. Yeah. I know he gets a bit of stick for his physique, doesn't he?
He's massive. He's
he
absolutely
is,
massive.
But he's great. I mean,
he's like
you notice
truck.
him. You wouldn't, he does his job, and he's one of the strikers that you notice in this division.
I was videoing on the video. Obviously, I went to the halfway line, and I get the players coming out. When you see Akin Fenwer come out, he's he's like a tank. Rain is saying you guys been streaming long.
Since we've been locked down.
Since we've been locked down, we started the live streams. Yeah, he says we seem like a lovely couple. Yes, we are. Yes, we absolutely are.
Yeah, we do this at this time every Saturday, which is 3:00 UK time, up until basically it's to fill the time where we haven't got any football. So we'd normally be at the football 3:00 till 5ish. So we do this every Saturday, 3:00 till 5ish, just to keep us in that Saturday routine, really. We also do a quiz on a Tuesday night at 8:00 UK time,
which would be like ridiculous o'clock for him.
Which takes about half an hour. So we go through the questions between 8 and 8:30, and then we go through the answers from 8:30 till about 9:00. But it's good fun. We're getting there now. We've been doing that for 9 weeks, and we they are getting better, the quizzes as well. We sort of educate ourselves a little bit. They're pretty tough. I wouldn't but we have some regulars who do incredibly well. So it's just for fun, you mark your own answers. But it's just it's the Tuesday night, filling in that Tuesday night slot where we'd normally be at football. So it's just to help us sort of mentally with the routine, really, to keep us in that. But people
plus
come
we
in
built
and
like a
enjoy
little bit
it,
of a community, haven't we, as well?
Yeah.
Which we like talking to all you guys.
Yeah,
It kind of gets us through.
And I know
it
it helps you guys as well, sort of having that, just something for you to do, knowing that we're going to be here just to entertain you if you want.
And Will's going crazy. We've got another 79p coming in. Will, you're going mental too. That's a Mars bar. You've got 2 Mars bars. Thank you very much. Woohoo!
Dave says, thank you very much, Will. Dave says, sounds good, yeah. Still been working back in training, hopefully pre-season games planned for August. Yeah, it's great. I've seen that the ground's coming on a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it yet?
Well, we're trying to find out, aren't we? I have sent a message and see if I can go down and do a little video down there, because a lot of people are asking if I can have a look at the training ground. So I'm going to try and get some training ground video for you. Other than that, we're going to hire a drone from somebody and film over. Ryan Dunbar's got a song for us. Can we sing it? 11 white bottles hanging on the shelf. 11 white bottles hanging on the shelf. And if the white bottles should accidentally fall, there'll be Prem football at Dumpdale again.
No, well, yes, they'll potentially their 11th attempt, isn't it, the playoffs?
Yeah.
Rain is asking, how are you guys going with restrictions?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
It's been an odd real situation. They're starting to relax things a lot now. The pubs are open again. The shops are open. They're making us wear masks from next Friday to go into shops, which we haven't been doing when we've been getting in the supermarkets, but people are getting a bit comfortable now in the supermarkets and not keeping the 2 meter distance. So if you've got a mask on, they reckon you can maybe get a little bit, you're safer if you are close to people. Obviously in smaller shops it's not realistic really to be keeping 2 meters apart, so the masks are going to be compulsory, as they are on public transport already. Public transport restrictions have been eased and anyone can travel on public transport now, so they're getting us back out there now. So just have to wait and see really what happens with winter, when winter comes, and potentially a second wave when you get into flu season. But I think obviously we'd be better prepared for a second wave because we know what to expect now, and we've got better facilities, and we can cope a little bit better. But also we've got better habits. Our hygiene is improved with all the hand washing and the sanitizing, and I imagine the masks are going to stay in place probably until for the foreseeable. And I think people are going to wear masks. It's going to be just part of culture now, and people will still continue wearing them.
You're getting used to it, aren't you, seeing people in masks? Like, at first it was a bit weird seeing people in masks. It was just a bit
But it's just
scary.
a thing. I mean, we went to the supermarket this morning, and even though people don't have to wear them yet, quite a lot of people are wearing them already just to get into it. But, when we watched, and it's very good if you get a chance to watch it on Amazon Prime, Our Man in Japan with James May. Which was filmed a while ago, obviously, and he travels across Japan, and he was telling us about masks, or people obviously wear masks over there, and I got to looking into it at the time, and this was before all of this, about why they wear masks, and there's different reasons why they wear masks over there. It's for hygiene reasons, to obviously to protect themselves and to protect other people, say if they've got a cold, to protect other people, but also it's a fashion thing. We're already seeing them now, aren't they? People designing their own masks, and some of them look pretty cool, but also it's like I've got a couple of bad spots at the moment, so I'm thinking, should I just put my mask on to go to the supermarket just to cover them up? So people, it is a valid reason why people wear them. So you don't have to worry about shall I just squeeze this spot, or I'm just going out? It doesn't matter, I'll just stick my mask on.
Yeah, nobody can tell.
And also it's a confidence thing. Some people, if they're introverted and not very confident, they might feel a bit more comfortable being behind a mask. But it's just interesting wearing them, because I've worn mine to go to the doctors a couple of times, and just things that you don't think about. It's like people can't hear. My voice is quite quiet anyway, but obviously behind a mask, I've got to basically shout to be heard. And also when you're passing people, you smile at them, and you just got to hope they can see your smile in your eyes, because they can't see your mouth. So that's Yeah,
I'm liking the way
interesting.
Ryan Dunbar's talking here. Someone donate £18.87 due to the 1887 Blackpool formed.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah,
I could pay for our pizza. We're thinking about
wow.
having pizza
Yeah, we
tonight.
get pizza tonight on that £18.87, Brian. I mean, we're quite happy with 79p. Thank you very much. Over the moon with that. Preston are winning 1-0. Bloody hell.
Oh, shame.
That's just putting a downer on things.
Oh, Nappa's mum says the quiz is outstanding. Oh, thank you very much. I think with everything we do, we'll always try and work and get better at what we do. So, the first week might not have been so great, but as week on week, so we've been doing it 9 weeks now, and we're getting there, aren't we?
Will White's what's this? Is that another 79p from Will?
79p.
Are you feeling all right, Will? Have you won the lottery?
Are you doing this by accident? Or?
Are you pressing the right button?
Dan Splaining says, did you get to visit Lincoln's Cathedral when you visited? It was the tallest building in the world for a couple of 100 years. It beat the pyramids of Giza, no less. Yeah, it's in my Lincoln video, actually, Lincoln Cathedral. But it is. But we did go in. We did go in and saw the imp. I was in the gift shop, and I was reading about the Lincoln imp. Because they're called the imps, aren't they? The red imps, and like, what's the history behind that? And I'm like, oh, there is actually the imp lives in the cathedral. So so we went on a hunt to try and find the Lincoln imp, and we did see very, very hard to see because he's really high up and he's tiny. There's like I don't know if it's binoculars or a telescope or something that you can pay to look through to actually see him a little bit better, but. I think we took a photo and ended up zooming in so we could see him. So, but yeah, definitely. I didn't go to the castle though, like properly inside. So definitely next time. There's still plenty to do.
Ryan's got a little joke. Helvetica and Times New Roman walk into a bar. Barman says, "Get out. We don't serve your type."
Oh, very good, very good.
I think there was one further back from Mr. Moley, but I think I missed it. We got lost somewhere in the thing. I think that was a joke from Mr. Moley. We'll have to find that one.
3 Mars bars. Yeah, 3 Mars bars.
There's 3 Mars. Yeah, nice going.
Yeah. But they're shrinking them, aren't they? They're shrinking. There was something in the news this week about they're shrinking the size of chocolate bars, which is a little bit disturbing.
That's terrible.
Ryan says, see, Britney Spears is a massive Preston fan because every time they bottle a playoffs, they play Oops, I Did It Again. Rain wears a mask every day, but it's a scary new world for sure. I guess it's only scary if you get scared about it. If you just try and accept it as this is just how it is now, and maybe try not to. I found it scary at the beginning. When we're all stay in, don't go out. You might get this, and even when your post comes, it's like what post coming because you're frightened, and wash your hands straight away afterwards. And I think as time's gone on, it's just a new culture, isn't it? And I'm not scared now. I still don't want the thing, and I'm still going out of my way to not try and get it. But it's got to the stage now where there's one case a day in Blackpool, so it's sort of managing that risk, isn't it? Don't put yourself in stupid situations, but if they're opening places, it's potentially, as long as you're careful. Because you think really, how would you pick up a cold? Generally, when you're driving your taxi and you had someone coughing and spluttering in there, or public transport, when people are coughing and spluttering on public transport, or in an office environment when you're sat, close with people and sharing spoons when you're making the brews, they're really where we would have picked up a cold. So they're probably like the highest risk places that we would pick up. But yeah, obviously there is a risk in other places as well. But I think if you keep your distance from people,
I think the biggest
people who have it are keeping, staying at home. Most importantly, then you should be safe if you're careful.
The biggest worry is the financial implications of it all, because if it happens, as they keep saying, that it's gonna come back in, through the winter time worse than it has this time, and they've locked us down for 3 months, 4 months nearly. Well, what's going to happen then over Christmas and all that time? We're all locked down.
I mean,
that's the biggest worry. And now businesses are struggling
but where it's possible, it's people have got to be thinking about adapting and how they can adapt their business to. It's like the Number 10 Ale House, for example. They were started up a delivery service for Thai food and beer, so they kept themselves going. I think businesses need to be sort of looking ahead if they can to sort of future-proof themselves for this happening again, because the risk is it is going to happen again, whether it's this winter, whether it's in 10 years' time or whatever. It's it's something that we know can happen now, and we need to. I know it's heartbreaking seeing all the live music venues now closing the doors for good, which is awful, but it's just it's a consequence of what's happening. We've been watching gigs in our living room. There's guys doing gigs on Zoom and YouTube, and we've been watching gigs that way, and it's just things move on sometimes, and it's just it is a massive change, but unfortunately it's not. Some businesses are going to be a lot more badly affected than others.
Adam Clark asked, hey, do we know anything about Jerry Yates yet? Are we getting close to signing? Well, you actually saw some tweet or something that we'd actually signed him, and came in blooming jumping through hoops that we'd signed him, and then it was all fake. So no, we haven't heard anything, and that was
well, last I heard that we were the only team to have tabled a bid. Only club to have tabled a bid, but there's potentially a lot more interest in him, so we'll see. I don't know whether we've met their valuation.
Here's a bit of train spotting news from Ryan Dunbar. I don't know where you got this from, but there's a team in Gibraltar called Lincoln Red Imps. Famously beat Celtic in a Champions League qualifier. Wow! So there we go. Ryan says now he's now up the ante to £20.10 for the Premier League 2010. Yeah. It's getting better. Will White's, I don't know what's happened to you, Will, but I think you're pressing the wrong button. There's another 79p come through from Will White. Thank you very much. Oh, that's 4 now.
Mr. Moley says, I do enjoy a punt about eyes. The cornier, the better.
Yes, that's the Mr. Moley joke. I was trying to find it before.
Dear me. Ryan says this one is close to the bone. Oh God, I better read this before I read it out.
Let's go for it. Did you know the scientists have found a definite link between marriage, sex, and astrology? If you've been married for 25 years, you have sex once in a blue moon.
Very good, very good. You've got all this to look forward to,
That's
Ryan.
All right. That's not too bad. Right, on to the scores. They're all half times. We'll just go through the half times quickly. Blackburn beating Reading 2-1 at half time. Fulham are beating Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 half time. Hull and Luton are 0-0. Cardiff are winning away at Middlesbrough. Come on, Cardiff. Preston are, everybody boo, winning 1-0 against Birmingham. Oh, come on, Birmingham. Boo for that one. QPR are beating Millwall. Oh, Millwall, Smithy's not here. That's no good for Smithy, is it? He's losing to QPR. That's a London derby. He won't be happy. Swansea are beating Bristol City 1-0.
Well, you look at the live league table at the moment. It's got Cardiff City on 70 points, Swansea City on 67, and Preston on 65. So that means if things stay as they are, then Preston won't be making the playoffs, even if they win. If Cardiff win, so
yes, if Cardiff win,
so we want a Cardiff win. That's
we just want a Cardiff win.
Result.
The Preston doesn't matter, but
and looking at the Wigan
what happens
situation,
if they draw?
Wigan situation would be on 46, which would put them. Yeah, they'd be okay as well. Hull would still be down because they're only drawing at the moment.
What happens if Cardiff were to draw and Preston?
If Cardiff were to draw, they would be on 68. So it's
3 points.
It would come down to goal difference.
Whoa. Blimey. Come on, Cardiff, you can do this.
Tangerine Aid, how do you get a colourblind person to eat their greens? Do you call them something else? Maybe? How do you get a colourblind person to eat their greens? Well, yeah, no, that is a good. Is it green that they can't see as well? It's one particular colour, isn't it? It's a man thing, isn't it? Colour blindness. Women can't be colour blind. It's a man thing.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is true.
It's a man thing.
Yeah.
I've always
Fascinating
found it
fact.
I had a friend who was colourblind. It was just to make me laugh, to be honest. I think it was quite funny.
Yeah, I think actually a lad I used to work with was colourblind, and someone used to give him like Excel spreadsheets to work on with like different rows highlighted, and he's like, I can't tell the difference.
Can't tell one colour from the other.
I haven't actually started going through my
right. Let's have some football news from Jane.
So Wigan. The deadline for bids for Wigan, the takeover of Wigan, is the end of July. They've sent out over 60 non-disclosure issues already, so there's been a lot of interest, and they've also had one firm expression of interest. So fingers crossed, it's looking a lot better for Wigan than it was for Bury. So hopefully the outcome will be different there. They're waiting on an appeal date for the 12-point deduction, which I've forgotten they were appealing against that. So I just hope it doesn't get. They don't get more points from appealing. I don't know what the impact of that is, but that's going to have to be sorted out soon, isn't it? Because if the league finishes next week and they haven't decided on it, but hopefully they'll have done enough and they'll stay up.
When's the closing date? Sorry, for the bids.
For the bids is the end of July. So if anyone wants to make a bid for Wigan, you've still.
So when are they going to make the decision? When does the league finish?
Well, it's got to be next week, isn't it? There's only one game.
So
left.
the league's going to finish, and they're still going to be in the process of getting bids.
Yes.
So it's
well, Macclesfield are in a similar situation in that they've been deducted. They were deducted 2 points by an independent panel in June, and the EFL are appealing against that 2 point deduction. So again, what happens with that if they get deducted more than 2 points? They would go down. They don't know what league they're going to be.
Because the 2 points saved them, didn't it? They
Yeah,
didn't go down because.
Yeah, but Stevenage have been called to give evidence at that. But that's going to be going on for ages as well. The initial hearing won't be until the 28th of July, and then so they won't likely hear it until August. And how do you prepare? How do you prepare for next season when you don't know what league you're going to be in? It's all such a mess.
Right. Red Room is asking us, have we covered the rumour that fans will be back in grounds in October but at only 25% capacity and no away fans?
I don't think that they've decided on how that's going to look yet. But, I mean, they've started out with non-league, steps 1 and 2, which is National League North and South. They can start back no earlier than 5th of September, and also steps 5 and 6, which is like Northwest Counties kind of level, 5th of September, and steps 3 and 4, which is like your Chase Towns League, the Northern Premier League level, 19th of September. I don't know why that's later. Maybe they don't have so many games.
There's updates on your female colour blindness theory, which is now dismissed on 2. Apparently, women can be colour blind, but it's rare. Apparently, 1 in 200 compared to 1 in 12 men.
Right.
So
I stand corrected.
So there we go. So Tangerine A's actually spent a week drilling for water. It was well boring.
Very good, very good. And the FA Cup, we've got a date for the start of the FA Cup as well, which is the 1st of September for the extra preliminary round, with the 12th of September for the preliminary round. So that's actually, the FA Cup is starting before the league is starting potentially this year. So that's great. So it'd be great to find some FA Cup matches to go and support, because we're unlikely to be back. Obviously, they're talking about fans not being back at matches until. But this is interesting because obviously non-league clubs can start having friendlies from the 1st of October, but fans can't go in as things stand. But
Mr. Moley says, I've just been diagnosed as colourblind after all these years. That's come as a real bolt from the orange. Oh gosh, Nick Muller confirmed 1 in 200 women are colourblind.
Wow.
Davis Gold says, 1 for Mr. Moley. Why did the cross-eyed teacher quit her job? She couldn't control her pupils.
Oh, how did we get twice?
Gosh. Ryan Dunbar. Andy Gorham says him and Rangers playing, including Gaza, were a bar with a guy called Broach. In walks Van Morrison. Gorham meets them. Morrison says what name is Broach. Gaza says what sort of name is Van.
Fair point. Fair point. Connor says also Wigan most likely won't have a 12-point deduction, as the whole thing is most likely a scandal by the owners to make money. Well, you'd read the book on that one, wouldn't you? Definitely. Yes. Rain is off to bed. Oh, well, thanks for popping in.
Oh, good night.
It was very nice to see your channel. Keep going with it. I'm sure it will get more viewers, and hopefully you guys all stay safe and we get more football stuff soon. That's great.
Thanks for popping in.
For popping in. You can also watch, we do the live streams, but they're also on the channel as well. So if you want to watch previous weeks, or you want to pop in and see what our quiz was like last week, they're on this channel, so you can see. Or
pop in again next Saturday if you're up late. We love our Australian. We've got a few Australians actually come and join, and it's amazing how small the world is.
I was just looking actually at the FA guidelines for what clubs have to comply with before coming back. They need to have a designated COVID officer, undertake risk assessments. I think like every business, like all the pubs and all that, have had to do that before they reopen. To minimise the numbers in the changing rooms and minimise the use of changing rooms as much as possible. Spectators, pre-season games will be behind closed doors until advised otherwise.
Good night, Rain.
Until the 31st of July, training is allowed for up to 30 people. That includes the coaches. But from August, pre-season friendlies can start from September. the grassroots leagues, the National League system, women's level 3 to 6 and FA competitions can commence. And they're encouraging people to walk or cycle to the grounds if possible. And indoor football and futsal are not okay yet. We haven't had the go-ahead for
Tangerine Aid is saying, what happened to the old pool favourite, Tom Ince? He can barely get a game for Stoke. He's majorly gone off the boil, more so than Charlie. Yeah,
he was
such a
player.
talent as well, wasn't he? But he was a bit... Well, he was pretty big-headed, wasn't he, I think?
Well, I don't think he's
Billy Big Boots, wasn't he? But
his dad helped, really, did he?
No, but he was a great player. I remember that ball he picked up on the right wing when he just flicked it. It came from behind and he flicked it over with his heel over. Well, the crowd just went silent. It was that good a move. It was unbelievable.
You can imagine how strict his dad would have been with him, though. Yeah, it's a shame. He was just a bit overpowering. I think I got the impression he was very overpowering.
Ryan Dunbar says, and Eddie Graham told that story this week, and Rangers had a friendly against Leon on Thursday and won 2-0. Very good. Very good.
Mr. Mellis says the main form of inherited colour blindness. How do we get to colour blindness? It's passed on the X chromosome, hence most affected a male. However, there are other rarer forms that can affect women.
John Stevens has arrived. Hi, John. Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Sorry he's late on parade.
No problem. We were late today as well.
Yeah,
so
we were a few minutes late.
anything.
We were having a bit of a problem with an issue with YouTube. It just wouldn't live stream for some unknown reason. It just kept saying live stream not available. So we had a bit of panic on, but we got it on in the end.
Dan says there'll be some headache for the EFL if they deduct Wigan points, but not Sheffield Wednesday and Derby have broken FFP rules. Don't get me started on FFP rules. I mean, Manchester City obviously got off, sort of bought their way out of their European ban, haven't they? They've had a fine instead. Well, what incentive is that? You know, they spend too much money, they get in trouble for it. What do they have to do? Spend a bit more money? Well, it's just made a mockery of the whole thing. What do you guys think of that situation? It's kind of pointless having the rules really in the first place if there's going to be no punishment. It's just the rich can pay more money and then pay a fine to get away with it, which is it's just all wrong.
It is all wrong. It is very much so. The Wigan owner is very shady, and it's been found out that he placed a bet for them to get relegated. We've heard this, haven't we?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but he probably did place a bet on them to get relegated, as most of his companies are crashing in the stock market. Would he make that much money?
It did seem an odd time to have a change of hands at a football club, and it was sort of, you know, he did it from one of his companies to another company, didn't he? And you know, I was reading the other week that it's something to do with that he's loaned some money to the club, and if the club default on that loan, which obviously they're going to, then it's a 40% interest on the default, which obviously they can't pay. And it all sounds
Cardiff.
horrific, but...
We're getting something in from Connor here. Cardiff have gone 2-0 up.
Brilliant. Oh, great.
Oh, it's almost champagne time here in Blackpool as Preston just can't do it.
You could do your Welsh accent again if Cardiff.
Oh, hey, boyo.
G'day, boyo.
G'day, boyo. G'day, boyo.
Would you go to any non-league games if non-league is back before the Football League? Yeah, yes. Definitely. We were talking about this morning, actually, maybe.
We've contacted AFC Blackpool.
AFC Blackpool, possibly, and the Squires Gate are very near to where we are, and you know, Chasetown. It would be nice to sort of, you know, maybe get in the car and tootle down there and go and support them if possible, if they're up and running before Blackpool are, which sounds like they might be. Ryan says Hearts and Partick Thistle nil have been charged by the SFA. What with? Tell us more. Partick Thistle nil. Mr. Bowley, I'm happy because the baseball season finally starts next week. No fans. Regular season reduced to 60 games instead of 162. Extended playoffs in November instead of October.
Is that American baseball?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens actually with the...
Oh, Nick's sticking it into the Fleetwood fans as usual. So Fleetwood fans can go back as they have about 100 fans and a 7,000 capacity ground. Have they actually got 7,000? I don't think it was that much.
I don't know.
I think that's probably a bit ambitious.
Mr. Moley, though, looking at the coronavirus charts in America, it's not looking so good, is it? It's still, you know, they haven't. even reached the peak yet. It's going mental over there in a lot of areas, which is worrying, very worrying, because are they still going to be on the increase when we get into the, where what would potentially be a second wave for everyone else in the winter flu season? If they're still, oh god, it's frightening. It really is frightening. But don't get me started on America.
John Haley says, who'll be bothered covering the EFL highlights with empty stadia? Even Quest can't be that desperate. Well, I actually don't think. I think there'll be a big shock on all these football clubs, because I can't even see Sky are making that much money on it, because they can't be having the viewing figures that they had when it was proper football. They just can't. I mean, there's all the pubs, have not been open, and all they'll be cancelling the Sky subscriptions, and I don't know. I just think football's in for a big major
overhaul.
Major
It needs
headache.
one, though.
It does. The whole wages thing. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, it's gone crazy. The whole thing needs reining in.
Napper's mum says, always lovely listening to Jane's facts and figures. She's a great knowledge of the game. Keep up your hard work. Well done. Well, I'm obviously better knowledge of the game than I am of colour blindness stats. So don't always take what I say to be true. But thank you.
Yeah,
that's very kind.
Yeah. Colin Moy says he brought in 2 new people for the club to decide the club should go into administration. They both said yes, and it turns out they're good friends and they work for him anyway. Did he really? Oh, yes. He sounds very shady, but what I don't understand is they have all this fit and proper blooming tests, and it's not worth the paper it's printed on.
Well, the Newcastle ownership situation is still ongoing, so it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that, because that's taken a long time, I think, for many reasons, isn't it? Because obviously lockdown, but also there's a lot to look into there, and if they allow,
You'd love that, Jane, wouldn't you? John Haley saying promoted never ever will have a massive meltdown and reappoint a top European coach, i.e. Simon Gray.
I love that you've got PNE standing for promoted never ever. That's brilliant.
Promoted never ever. Yeah,
that is quality.
That's who they are.
Ryan says that
they can't really gloat too much because they're in the division above.
Hearts and Partick are being charged for taking the SFA to a court of sessions rather than arbitration court. Oh God, it is a mess, isn't it? Do they know when next season's starting? You've had fixtures out, have you, for next season in Scotland? Celtic are wanting fans back on grounds for the start of the season in 2 weeks' time. What should happen? Because what Celtic want, Celtic get. Well, I'm not sure football clubs have got the power.
I don't think they have. No, I don't think they have.
They obviously they are very powerful, but
I mean, the government, they're trying their best to clamp down on this virus, and if all them people go back to football matches, it's gonna rise, isn't it?
You've got your two sides of things. Obviously, you've got your economic side, and which is important, but obviously they've got money to get what they want, and then you've got your medical side. I mean, there's the Spanish health minister was. He's not keen to have fans back in stadiums at all when La Liga kicks off again. He says we have to step carefully with this virus, which is very true. But I guess it's fine. I wouldn't want to be a politician deciding on any of this at all. Deciding between getting the economy up and keeping people safe. It's frightening, but we're doing a better job than America.
We've got MB. I don't know if you've been in before, MB. Hi, welcome if you have. It just says, if we cut wages, the players will follow the money abroad. But again, is there going to be money abroad as well? Are they? I mean, surely the Premier League gets more money than anybody else, because the fact that the Premier League getting so much money, it's all going into Europe. But I don't see the European leagues get as much money as the Premier League. They're not.
It always used to be Italy, didn't it, where the money was, and now it's the Premier League.
I would think so, but I don't know. I mean, they're going to be struggling just as much as everybody else, aren't they?
Well, Daniel says when St Albans come back, I might be able to do interviews with the manager after the game.
That'll be
great.
That will be, honestly, that will be.
He might
great.
not want to speak to you after they've lost. I know from experience, you'd best sort of keep out of the way. Keep out of the way when they've lost.
Yeah, Jay's worked in non-league, and but no, that will be amazing for your channel if you can start getting interviews with managers. I'd love to do that myself, but there's no chance at all. Though.
Nick says if you wear a mask, I don't see a problem with fans in grounds. If fans don't go back soon, some towns may go bankrupt. Yeah, I think if you were, it's just the congregating on the concourses and the going in and coming out, and I think maybe every other seat or go in pockets like with your family or whatever. Yeah, it is a risk, isn't it?
Barnet have gone 1-0 up. from Daniel
To be
Teckers.
honest, I don't really see a problem in allowing people back in Stadia if they can do the social distancing.
Hello, Ian R. Hello from rainy Telford. It's been raining
hello.
here as well on the Gold Coast. We had it quite rainy.
It's been grim here for a couple of weeks, actually. Is it going to put...
Telford once had a team, says Nick
Need
Muller.
some sunshine.
You might think Celtic are strong, but have you taken into account Mrs. Nicola Sturgeon? God only knows with her.
Oh, it was going to be sunny at 7 o'clock tonight. No cloud. We've been looking out for this comet. Has anybody seen the comet?
Yeah, no, we've been out every night, but
it's been so cloudy here. We just haven't been able to see it, but it's apparently the cloud is going between 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. So we'll have another look to see if we can see it.
Get it. It's actually getting. It's not quite as bright, is it? Something you were saying.
No, it's not going to rain until Thursday, apparently. Yeah.
Ryan Dunbar says, "Oh, Jane, how wrong! What you don't know is in Scotland, Celtic do have a say, and only Celtics, because their chief executive Peter Lawwell has more powers than he should, and that's been proven."
Well, I think a lot of rich people have a lot of power, don't they?
Yeah, Cameron Smith. Hello, Cameron. His other YouTube account got hacked, which was Tangerine123.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't even know a YouTube channel could get hacked. Well, hope ours don't get hacked. That'd be great, wouldn't
it? Connor Daniel stole my job. Tangerine Aid repulls new kit deal with Puma. Apparently, Puma are incorporating a pattern into the majority of their kits. Does a pattern shirt sit well with you guys? Ooh. Not a massive fan of pattern. Didn't like the old Bass one. That was
it all depends on the pattern. But we did see a really cool one though, didn't we? Somebody posted one. It had a really cool pattern in it. I quite liked it, but no, the old Bass one's blooming awful.
Yeah,
as long as it kind of looks tangerine.
Wait and see, won't we? We can't judge it until we see it. But yeah, patterns. Why do I get more into patterns? As long as it's symmetrical. I don't like asymmetry in clothing at all. I wouldn't be able to cope with that.
Going back to the subject of away day stewards, says Jill Napper's mum. They used to be fun, but they've all gone to wearing the golden cap and very aggy. Yeah, we've not been too. I don't think we've had too much trouble with stewards. They've been quite nice.
It depends. Yeah, I mean Doncaster, they were lovely. Reading, they were lovely.
Yeah. So. I always it's one of the things that I kind of believe in, that when you go to an away ground, especially if you're doing football vlogging, this is for all football vloggers, you should really go up to stewards and have a chat with them and have a bit of a laugh with them and just, tell them all about yourself. And you normally find they're not too bad then. Didn't work at Rotherham at all because she was just a miserable old bag.
It wasn't just the fact that they wouldn't let us film, but it was also, I wanted to pet the sniffer dog on the way in. It's like, walk straight on, don't touch the dog, and so that's the first thing you're greeted with when you get to the ground. It's not pleasant. Whereas we went to Donny, which is just down the road, and they address you as sir and madam, and you're having a laugh before you go in, and then when you're in there, so I said in my blog, it was almost as if. I was almost expecting for them to, take me to my seat and deliver me a pie. They were that lovely and welcoming. They were showing us round. And
it was a little bit like going into like Stalag 19, wasn't it? Going into Rotherham, it was really, you felt like there's all like big. Just honestly, it was awful. But when we went to Reading, they were lovely there, weren't they?
They were. They had a bench outside where a bag search station. So I sort of put my bag down. Oh, hello, and he's like, and you just searched my bags. He did, and he said, he said something like, "Oh, you look delightful" or something, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a nice little compliment. It sort of sets you up for the day." And just carried on and went to the ground, and it was, it was nice. I don't know.
And they had a little old guy, didn't they? He was a steward who kept bringing people up, and there was like up flights, and we were right at the top, and he was up and down the stairs. Wasn't he? He was like about 80-year-old. He was a steward. He was up and down, like unbelievable.
Adam can't wait to get his season ticket. Don't know who I'm going to bring with me. Well, just go on your own. I went on my own for years to football. It's nice sometimes.
Yeah, you kind of chat to people, don't you? People don't. Janet McCranky. Oh, she is a show for that, Nicholas.
Oh, Connor's given us a Belarus Division Group A update. Ameliorator Zhitovici 3 and Persley Region 0.
That was very good. Can you do that one again?
No,
Jen?
I can't. Mr. Hurley says, although I hear what you say about the US, an interesting fact is US COVID deaths per million 422, UK COVID deaths per million 678. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. But it's just worrying that it's. But I guess it's going to take time to spread over there because it's effectively like Europe. It started in one place and then it eventually came over here, and I guess it's just due to the geography.
When you actually look at those figures, though, 422 per million and 678 per million it's effectively more or less a zero, isn't it? 422 out of a million is not a lot.
No, I mean they are because we're being careful, aren't we?
It's just there's not much in 422 and 678 in a million. It's if you won £422, you wouldn't be happy, but if you won $1 million, you'd be over the moon. So it's just such a long way.
Adam says, what happened to the light in that room? It looks dim. Do we look dim today?
I don't know. I can't tell. Maybe we've moved the table. Maybe we need to move it closer that way. Let's just shove it up.
That one's normally more in my face.
Let's shove it up a little bit and get a bit. You want to get a bit? Is that a bit better there?
It's mood lighting.
Mood lighting.
Yeah.
Is that a bit better? We were a bit. I think I moved the table back for some reason, so maybe we're a bit.
Ryan likes the sound of a passing shirt.
Yes, it all depends. It all depends on the pattern, doesn't it? At the end of the day, if it looks good, I'll wear it. But if it doesn't, sometimes they have like a sort of a pattern in the material that you can hardly see. Sometimes, don't they?
Dan agrees on Donny. Nice stewards. Yeah, they are lovely.
Yeah, they were really nice.
Mr. Moley's asking us to look out for a meteor shower.
Oh, yeah, we're lighter now. I can see we're lighter.
Meteor shower peaks August the 12th. Just need some clear nights. Can be great around here on the very dark Pennine Moors. Light pollution is an issue in towns. Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got the
How many times have we been out to see this Starlink and we don't see anything?
I mean, we do have the light pollution from the street lights as well. But it's we just only seem to go out. It just seems to be cloudy a lot, which doesn't help. We can't even see any stars some nights.
Nick Muller says, you remember the days when some clubs brought their own stewards along with them because they knew the troublemakers and you kind of behave yourself on that. So maybe.
Have you seen the video of the steward who was meant to be frisking but never touched them? No. How's that going to work going forward as well? Frisking?
I don't know.
Social distancing. John says, with all these statues disappearing and coming back as someone else, would you replace Stan Morty or Jimmy Armfield with anyone else? No. There's a statue at St. Saints. It was that bad. It had to be recast. Yeah, there used to be there was a black Princess Diana statue in Walsall bus station. Oh God, it was really bad. It's really bad because when they did the new bus station, I was just like, no, it's still around somewhere, but it's not quite so prominent anymore. That was pretty bad. Obviously, the Ronaldo one we mentioned the other night, didn't we? The Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, these feel like loads of photoshopped pictures of Ronaldo, didn't they? With it, with the head of his statue on, because it just didn't look anything like him at all. It was terrible.
Ryan says Scotland has the worst virus death rates in the world per population. Wow.
Yeah, that's surprising because it's not very densely populated, is it? I suppose Glasgow maybe, but a lot of it's highlands, isn't it? You wouldn't see anybody live near a loch. I'm surprised. Rangers of the faint patterns. Yeah, it looks better in person. Yeah, we've had a few with like a pattern in actually in it, but you can't see it. Yeah. It's not like a pattern. It's just in the colour.
Just to rattle through a few more bits, I've got loads of notes and we haven't gone through anything today. There's a player, Andre Skurrel, is that how you pronounce it, who used to play for Chelsea. He's been at Borussia Dortmund. He's a World Cup winner with Germany. He's taken the decision to retire from playing at the age of 29 because he says the lows outweigh the highs now. He doesn't need the applause anymore. So I wonder if more players are giving thought to that sort of thing with the lockdown, maybe reassessing what they want and whether they want to carry on playing or not. I think a lot of people are generally sort of reevaluating their situations and, life's too short. Let's do what you enjoy doing.
Daniel Tekis reckon we should all punt on Chelsea for a 1-0 win with Giroud scoring, as he said in his vid. So should we all lump a fiver on that? Should we put these 79p's on from Will White onto that? A 1-0 win for Chelsea with a Giroud scoring. Instead of our Mars bars. Ryan Dunbar, Jane liked the tweet I tagged you in, Lee. Oh, has he tagged me in a tweet?
Yes.
I shall have to check on that one. And are they going to repair Central Pier? Well, I would hope so.
I think they already reopened the arcade. They've got to do some work before.
Yeah, they've probably just got to pull that building down that's gone down. But there was very little damage done to the pier. It was just the building where it was on there, so I should imagine it can be repaired.
Andre Schürrle is how you pronounce it. Yeah, Schürrle. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, streetlights make a huge difference. Drive into the country and let your eyes adjust the darkness for 30 minutes. You'll be amazed what you can see, and not just in some dodgy car park.
Yeah, I remember when I went up to the Highlands actually to watch Blackpool play Keith, and that was in the middle of nowhere, and just the sky just looked amazing. So, yeah, maybe we should drive into the country and have a look at the sky. Yeah, it is a problem. It is a problem around here. You kind of want to turn the street lights off, really. It's not like anyone's out and about, really. Daniel Steckers is upset about Andre Schürrle because he was a great player for Chelsea. What else? The relegation in the Premier League is between sort of Villa, Bournemouth, and Watford. So that'll be interesting to see. That'll be heartbreaking for Villa. Though they spent a lot of money to get up there, so interesting to see what happens there.
Bit like Preston spending millions to get up there as well. And I think rumoured they spent somewhere between 18 and 24 million this year to get into the Premier League. Preston and
Failed.
Cardiff are still winning 2-0.
Great. They announced the dates of the transfer window as well, which opens on the 27th of July and closes on the 5th of October for international registrations. But the Premier League have got a little bit longer if they want to sign players from the EFL until the 16th of October.
Ryan Dunbar has gone streetlights. It's the only way to go. Streetlights. Sorry, he's burst into song. Tangerine Aid must go away. Great show as usual. Off to earn some money. I took out a loan for an exorcism. If I don't pay it back, I'll be repossessed.
Oh, like it.
Good finish.
Yeah, keep the
good finish, Aid. Thank you.
Yeah, see you next week, hopefully.
Nick Muller says some fans may not go back or renew season tickets now they know how much they're spending. Maybe cut down.
Well, that's
games.
A very interesting point actually, because it's true. I mean, people on the one hand, people might not be comfortable going out and putting themselves in that crowd situation, but definitely when people have got used to not spending and not going out, people will be thinking about all sorts of things. It's like eating out, for example. I used to eat out a lot. And now I've been cooking at home and realised that a lot of the supermarket food is as good as the restaurant quality. So why eat out when you can cook something at home for a fraction of the price? So I know they want people obviously going out to restaurants, and the restaurants want people going out there, but people's habits will have changed. And things like people have learned to cut their own hair, so will they be going to the barber so often if they know they can just do it themselves for nothing? And it's very interesting. But the football certainly is expensive, and if people haven't had an income or don't have an income or have less of an income going forward, football is going to suffer. So it will be very interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of long-lasting effects from this going forward. Are people going to start saving, building up the savings just in case this happens again, and they've got a bit of a pot there if they can't work for a while? It's people's habits are going to change massively. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of this, really.
Just going back there, Ian R said that Stoke beat Brentford 1-0. Yeah, we got that earlier score. Yeah, that's very good for West Brom actually, isn't it? That's made it. They must be sick, Brentford, because they really had a good chance, didn't they, to go above West Brom, and West Brom must be desperate to get back in the Premier League because apparently they're on the last year of parachute payments this year. So if they don't get back in, they're in big trouble.
Daniel Teckers says Schürrle scored in the 6-0 demolition of Arsenal in Wenger's 1,000th game.
Ooh,
wow,
didn't know that.
Well, that's a bit mean in his 1,000th game.
Nick Muller wants Villa to stay up. I don't like it when 3 go up and then go back again. I know it is. It seems sad, doesn't it, that they just can't stay in. It's I don't know. It's tough to stay in, isn't it? As we found.
Dan points out with the money in the game, players can afford to retire when they want, which is good on one hand, but it begs the question how many carry on struggling mentally just so they have security. Yeah. Well, it's like all of us, isn't it? We carry on struggling mentally sometimes for jobs. I see it a lot. I see people going to work and hating their jobs, but just almost hoping to be made redundant so they can get out. It's not just football. It's in
Tangerine says, Tangerine Aid, we need to move to Norway to see
see the Northern
Well, that's see the
Lights
Northern
there.
Lights, yeah.
Expensive though
It'd
to live in Norway.
it'd be a long trip to keep coming back for home matches though from Norway.
With cheap flights, there are cheap flights to Norway.
yeah.
It's just really expensive when you get there.
Yeah.
It's probably like what, £8 a pint or something ridiculous.
That is expensive.
Yeah. Adam, I've just been told Puma deal. We make 502,000 every 2 minutes in advertising on match days.
Oh, wow.
502,000 every 2 minutes.
Is that through all their? Is that through all their? Is that split between all the people?
Explain those stats a bit more.
Yeah,
I don't know if I understand.
Obviously, a lot of clubs have Puma as a sponsor. Is that like all the clubs together?
Mr. Bowley, it's now obvious that barbers have been stealing a living. Well, it's just people have got lazy, haven't they? And people have had, been pampered and had things done for them. Had their eyebrows done and their hair cut and the nails painted. And well, actually, you don't really need any of that. It's all an indulgence, isn't it?
I found it quite easy to cut my hair with clippers. It's not been too difficult.
Sort of going back
just round the backs a bit hard.
Going back to basics, when people were, when you didn't have all this. It wasn't this culture of spend. It was people used to do things for themselves, and we're sort of going back to that little bit now, which is it's not great for the economy and it's not great for the businesses, but is it really a bad thing to do more for yourself?
Ryan Dunbar said he's paid a tenner for a cardboard cutout of himself at Ironbrocks. Well, so no fans are in, and if Bloomfield Road do the same thing, he's going to buy one there as well, so we can finally see both his clubs at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's a great idea. In fact, I think we'll get a cardboard cutout of ourselves as well if we can't.
Speaking of which, we haven't covered the brick football. The fixtures are out in the Builders Ligue. So FC Brixtown know who they're going to be playing now. There's some new sides in the Builders Ligue 4, which is the division they're in. So we've got South Sea United, Birkenhead Rovers, Phoenix Shakers, Burndon Wanderers, Holker Street and Blocks County are the new teams in the Builders League Division 4. The season kicks off on the 16th of August, so that's pretty soon. Brixton are away at Mayflower Pilgrims, and then the first home game the week after, 23rd of August, at home to Blocks County. And the season finishes on the 24th of May with a home game against Wadden Robins. So that's exciting to have some football to look forward to there, starting on the 16th of August with some friendlies beforehand as well.
We also follow Brixton, don't we?
We do, yeah. We have. You need to renew yours actually.
I do.
Season ticket there.
Let's have a look at this. Will BFC keep an amount of tickets for casual supporters like myself? Don't fancy sitting in a half-empty ground anyway. Well,
we don't know, do we? We don't.
You just kind of. Unfortunately, it's not going to be quite the same. But you've just got to accept that life isn't the same. And if you want to watch your football, you're just going to have to accept it's not going to be as good as it was.
It's not the same thing. But when we went from standing up to sitting down, it's like people didn't like it because it's not the same because you can't stand with all your mates. But it's just you just got to adapt to how things are going to be. And I think for now, we'll be able to maybe sit in little bubbles together, but.
Adam Clark says he had a mate who used to work in advertising. He told him about the Puma deal. He told me you make £520,000 every 2 minutes in advertising.
So Puma make that much from?
No, we would make 520,000. He told me you make 520,000 every 2 minutes in advertising. So I would imagine that's every 2 minutes you're on the pitch with the Puma kit on TV. You're making 500.
Puma make that. I can't see that.
It's a lot of money, that, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Dennis Hutch. He was looking at all the cardboard cutouts at Deepdale and realised it was a replay from pre-lockdown. Yes, of course. Excellent, Dennis. Let's stick it into
Nick says,
Cardiff are still winning 2-0.
Did you know Puma and Adidas owners were brothers who hated each other? Both factories in the same city on different sides of the river. There's a video on YouTube. Interesting. Even the workers hate each other. That's like Sam Smith's and John Smith's beer, isn't it? They were like brothers who hated each other as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Ian R, I have been watching Back in Time for series that's shown how little money people had, yet they survived and were properly a lot happier.
Exactly, a lot happier. Well, it's you feel you have to earn all this money because you're under pressure to spend so much. I've just started reading a new book actually, which is called One Football No Nets by Justin Worley, and it's about how he was he sort of reassessed. He was really, really, really into football, and football was his life. And he was volunteering for Riga United in Latvia, and he was managing one of the women's teams, and he was the secretary, and he was a marketing man, and he was doing all these jobs, and it all just got a bit much. And he was just like, and he went away to a retreat, a monastery in Macedonia, just to sort of clear his head. And he sort of got to thinking, well. And he says something along the lines of, well, you know, you just get in this mentality of having stuff and having to have stuff and working so you can afford to buy the stuff. Whereas actually, if you just go out and live your life and have adventures, you don't need stuff. And there is a lot, you don't. It's just this consumerism is just what we've been fed to believe is the right thing. But really, does it make you happy? I think a lot of people have realised during lockdown, when you know you start growing your own plants and cutting your own hair, that actually you can be happy without stuff.
Definitely, you can be happy without stuff.
Without the grind of having to, you know, have to go to work every day because I've got to earn this money, because I've got to have this stuff, and it just it's a calmer life.
I still like stuff though. Still like gadgets. There's always Amazon. Right, I heard there's maybe no tickets on the day.
Yeah, I guess they've got to know who people are. Maybe they'll have to track who people are who have the tickets as well.
Yes, Ryan's confirming that we really do like the Nobbers, don't we? No, we absolutely hate them. So Cardiff are still winning 2-0. Preston are still winning 1-0, but it's irrelevant if Cardiff can keep 2-0 at Middlesbrough. As long as Cardiff beat Middlesbrough, it's all over. It's game over for Preston. They don't get up.
And Hull and Luton are still drawing, so that's good news. A draw is a perfect result there, actually, really, isn't it?
Daniel Teckers is saying that Kante is out for Chelsea, so he's not as confident as he was anymore. So maybe it's time not to put that 1-0 bet on that Daniel Teckers was telling us to put down on Chelsea to a 1-0 win. Maybe we've retracted that, have we, Daniel? I think it may be not quite as confident. Oh, Foden and ERF lorry companies were run by brothers, and they fell out as well. I don't know either of those lorry companies. I only know Eddie Stobart. That's the only one I can ever think of.
Are you a truckerian? No, I know more because James is a truck driver, isn't he? So he's always talking about trucks. He's obsessed with trucks.
Here we are. Dan's playing. The Puma Adidas story is fascinating. There's a book on it, Jane. Sneaker Wars by Barbara Smith. Great read. There's also a German film on it. Sadly, no English subtitles.
Wow. How do we learn all sorts of random stuff in here?
Why would it not have English subtitles? You'd think they'd be able to get subtitles on it, but yeah. Sneaker Wars.
Maybe one day you'll be able to sort of get auto dubbing on anything.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the future. We've been watching quite a few.
It comes up on our YouTube video sometimes, doesn't it? You know, they get the words come up. They don't always get it right, but it comes up on.
We've been watching a few dubbed things on Netflix, and you just don't notice. It's so good. The dubbing's so good these days. You forget it's dubbed. What we've been watching? We watched Money Heist. That was dubbed, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're watching the 3% at the moment. That's dubbed as well.
Oh, that's really good. We just finished the first series of that. That's based in Brazil. It's a Brazilian Netflix original. Very, very good. How people have, all living in poverty in Brazil, and how if you are in the top 3%, you can get through all these tests that you can go for once a year. If you come out the top 3% and prove yourself, you go over to the other side, and life is
wonderful.
Well, we haven't seen what life is like.
No, we haven't
got there yet.
We've only just got through the first series, but
it's meant to be a utopia.
Yeah, but only 3% of people get through, and people die and also trying to get killed trying to get through this process of becoming the 3%. I've
got a theory actually I've just thought of, but I'll tell you off air later. Don't want to give
so here we are. Daniel Tex is telling us more about Jorginho could fill in with Mountain Coat. How do you say that? Kovacic's in front of Jim.
Ian's not a trucker, but
in front of him. Sorry,
a former ERF employee. I haven't actually heard of ERF.
No, I remember EMF.
You're unbelievable.
For the electric music foundation or something.
I've had a sleeve and a lapel pit.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Oh, I did a book review. If you haven't seen my book review yet, I reviewed The Miracle of Castel di Sangro on my blog. You'll see my Twitter handle. I never know which way to point. It's down there. My Twitter handle and blog address will appear here and on. That was a very interesting book and not what I expected. I was, if you read the blurb and the title, you think it's going to be a fairy tale story of a little team, rising up from, they were only formed in 1953 and rose up all the way to the first season in Serie B in Italy, which this book covers that season, but it's absolutely remarkable story. It's an American guy who gets really into football, or soccer as he calls it, and just really moves from America to this mountain town so we can follow this team for the season and write a book about it. And the stories he tells are, because he really immerses himself in the club. He's left his family behind. The club is his life, so he becomes very emotionally involved. And there's some really unbelievable stories, which, on the one hand I'm thinking, well, is this all true, or is some of it, is there a lot of poetic license in there, but kind of knowing what happens at football clubs every season is a soap opera, it is just a bit ridiculous. So you kind of can believe it on the one hand, but
even at Chase level it was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, recommended read The Miracle of Castel di Sangro by Joe McGuinness.
Daniel Tuckers will be doing a vlog for the game tomorrow. Hopefully Chelsea can get the win. Oh, well, that might get some views, crossed. That one. The brothers worked for the same company during the war. Puma, Adidas didn't exist until after the war. Oh.
Mr. Moley appreciated my unbelievable comment there. Thank you very much. It just came to me.
Trivia question before we go. There's only one team in Scotland and England that doesn't contain any letters from the word football. Name them.
Oh.
Only one team in
Scotland and England. So is that one in Scotland, one in England, or just one in across the two countries?
Well, one would be Rangers, obviously, from Scotland, would it? Because they haven't got
Glasgow.
Oh no, they've got A in, haven't they? No, they've got A. Yeah. A. Celtic. Oh no, they got the L. Well, post in the comments below if you can work out Ryan's riddle.
Everton? No, it's got an O. Oh, God, this is hard, isn't it? So there's no O, no A, so it's got to have an I, an O, or a U. Berry's got a B.
No, can't think.
Maybe a short
Crew.
name? No, Crew Alexandra's got an A.
Oh,
One across the two, so it's potentially in Scotland, is it? Oh, are you giving us two wider?
It's got to be a short name, surely. What's some short name football clubs?
Hull City, but it's not them.
Daniel Tuckers reckons Chelsea having an extra 2 days off. They'll be raring to go and fitter than United.
No, it wouldn't have been Bury because they've got a B. They've got a B.
Boris Johnson's casually mentioned that fans will be allowed back in October. So, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Would have been Bury. Well, no, because Bury have got a B.
It's in Scotland. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, let me just go back to let's have a look how the scores are doing.
Dundee.
Cardiff. Oh, Cardiff have gone 3-0 up, folks. It's game over. Let's go to who scored for Cardiff. Let's go to the
Mr. Moley's got it right. It's Dundee. Well done, Mr. Moley. Quiz champion as ever.
Goal. Josh Murphy for Cardiff City. Left-footed shot from the centre of the box. 3-0. That's it. Get the champagne out. We can celebrate tonight, everyone. Blackpool's going to be going mental. There'll be fireworks going from the Pleasure Beach and everything because Preston have failed to get into the playoffs. Woo. It's the greatest. This is the greatest show we've had so far. This is great news.
We just need Wigan to stay up now, and
good
we're
old
very
Josh Murphy.
Happy. Oh no! There's been a change at the bottom. Luton 1, Hull City 0.
Oh, does that put?
So that puts
Hull into
Wigan. Wigan, I'm concerned about. -12 puts them on 46. So that would put Wigan in the relegation zone.
Oh dear.
So that's not good news. We can Hull equalise? God, I hope so. But they, that's a shame. So it's all going to come down to the last game. It's going to be it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is heartbreaking.
Really is heartbreaking.
So what's this? Just go through those points again. Sorry, because I was still so excited about the goal.
Well, Barnsley, as things stand, obviously not at full time yet. Barnsley on 43 points. They've gone. Hull City on 45. Wigan with the 12-point deduction would be on 46, and Luton are now on 48, as are Charlton.
Oh, dearie me!
So there's still a few teams in it there.
Hello, John Walters. Hello, hi.
Hi, John.
We're coming obviously to a kind of a close, John. So
and at the top, obviously, Leeds.
You've joined in to find out that Cardiff have just scored. Have just gone 3-0 up against Middlesbrough. So that confirms that Preston North End are not going to make the playoffs this season, which to a Blackpool fan is absolutely wonderful.
Leeds
news.
Can't be caught now.
Leeds can't be caught.
It's between, oh my goodness, Fulham could get automatic as things stand now as well. It's between West Brom, Brentford and Fulham. West Brom are on 82, Brentford 81, Fulham 80. Could Fulham sneak in?
Yes, John Haley, the Nobbers blow up as usual. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
it's a shame, really, and they're winning, aren't they, Preston? All that for nothing. All that for nothing. Poor old Preston. Oh, Blackburn are 3-3-all now with Reading. Blooming heck, that's an amazing game. How's that gone? Blackburn 3, Reading
2-0 Barnet in the playoffs. Mr. Moley, did you see the player marks out of 10 given out by the whole local paper after they lost 8-0 to Wigwam? Highest was 4, all others were 2 or 3. Oh, in a way, I know it would have been very painful. In a way, I would have liked to have seen that match just to see, was it that Wigan were really determined, or were Hull really that bad, or was it a bit of? I mean, you don't concede that many goals unless you're really bad, though, do you? And they didn't even change the goalkeeper. Normally, if you concede 8 goals, the goalkeeper is an issue. I know when Blackpool have conceded 7 a couple of times, it's been, I think we had Melvin Capleton in goal for one, and I can't remember who was in for the other one, but normally there's a goalkeeper issue there if you're conceding that many. Ryan says, "Oh, Preston, I'm so sorry you missed out on the playoffs."
We are. We're all.
Yeah, we are.
Shame, Preston. Real shame for you. We do feel so sorry. Our heart bleeds for Preston.
Fulham v Brentford would be a good playoff final.
Oh yeah, it would be.
Be difficult to keep the Fulham and Brentford fans away from Wembley for that one, wouldn't it? Oh, very close by. John says Arsenal have 13 FA Cups and we are the holders, and it's not on terrestrial TV. Mr. Morley, Fulham always stink out the Prem. I hope they don't go up.
It's looking a bit.
I don't care who goes up now. To be honest, it's not Preston.
As long as it's not Preston.
I just don't want Wigan going down. That's.
In fact, I hope they win. I hope they win today, Preston. Just because it's all for nothing. I was actually a bit upset they'd gone 1-0 up against Birmingham, but it doesn't matter now. It's irrelevant.
Just to remind you that we've got the quiz on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. We're getting better and better. We're getting some better rounds.
If we do say so ourselves.
If we do say so, yeah, we are. We always practice makes perfect, doesn't it? We're not perfect yet, but we're
superb.
It is a very good quiz. Wow. We've got the balance.
Well, we've made money today. We've had 4 lots of 79p. So
yeah.
So things are looking up.
Have a bottle of pop with that.
On our uppers. Don't forget, you can always add a top chat in if you want to before you go. Thanking us for everything. We've had a bit today. We had 4.79p, so very well appreciated. Nearly £3.20, £3.16.
Wigwam bam. Sorry, black lace on the brain. Hey, Mr. Moley fed me. I swallowed it up when you mentioned wigwam.
Yeah, wig, wham, bam, gun.
The black lace always makes me laugh. When I used to get the tram, where was I going? The tram from Birmingham to Wolverhampton. I don't know why. I think I was going to Wolverhampton for a gig or something, and I worked in Birmingham at the time. And there's a tram stop on that tram line called Black Lake, and every time I saw it, I always say, God, do. Every time, you can't not think it, can you?
Ian R did the football quiz last week on Wednesday and scored 5 points. Well, that would be a wooden spoon, that Ian, but at least you had a go. At least you had a go.
But did you learn something? We learned a lot.
John Walters is in Blackpool from Monday for 4 nights.
Oh, great. Well, enjoy.
Have a great time.
I think the weather's going to perk up. I don't think it's not forecast to rain, actually, but it probably will because it's pretty cloudy. But it's still a great place to be. And there's a lot of places open, as evidenced in your video the other day. So.
Yeah.
Where are you coming up from, John? Are you
Pleasure Beach is open?
We were meant to go, weren't we?
We're going to go down to the Pleasure Beach sometime.
Yeah.
It's something we need to do. We want to do.
We've been getting out and about a little bit.
We're going to get us like a season pass, weren't we? And do quite a lot of intros and stuff from the Pleasure Beach. It'd be good. We can go down anytime we want.
Oh, Ryan says the quiz is super smashing great. Thanks, Ryan.
It is super smashing great.
Oh, Nick says you might have to bring your own food to games. Yeah,
that wouldn't be so bad. Seeing as food's rubbish.
It's football food.
I mean,
shit.
So they're normally searching your bags, aren't they? If you brought any food in, so now they're going to say bring your own food in.
Definitely.
So,
that's an interesting point.
I could bring some nice stuff in then, can't we, for the matches instead of the garbage that they have on sale?
That would definitely be a positive. Definitely. Oh, I just encourage people to go to the pubs before the game and eat in the pubs. You can still eat in the pubs.
Oh, Mrs. Moldy has just said she'll have supper ready early on Tuesday, so you could be coming out of quizzing retirement.
Brilliant. Yeah, that would be great to have you back.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we just sort of tried to move it not to clash with people's.
Ryan's girlfriend is fiance is visiting Blackpool next Monday.
Oh, right.
Wow. John Hallie's been playing chess online, really brain challenging.
I used to play a lot of chess. We were talking about that last night because we've been watching The Big Bang Theory, and obviously they've got the 3D chess set in there. And we're like, is that a real thing? And apparently it started in Star Trek. Captain Kirk used to play 3D chess, so you can find the rules online. It looks quite hard, but I was actually primary school chess champion. Back when I was 10 or 11, so that's fine.
Ian says the score didn't matter; he just loves watching us both. So thank you very much. That's really kind. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it.
I used to play chess online. Actually, I haven't done that for a while.
John Walter says he's never been on a roller coaster. And we'll go on them all. Yes, you must. Honestly, you must.
Icon's amazing.
Yeah, there's I was telling this story. I don't know if I've told it already, but we went to Euro Disney and I queued up to go on the Aerosmith rock and roller coaster. And you go down all these like corridors, and there's all this Aerosmith memorabilia, and then you come into it's like a train station with all these queues of people going down, and the ride like sets off at like 100 mile an hour down a big tube, and I could just hear screams all the way down, and I'm stood in the queue and I'm thinking, I tell you what, I don't really fancy this at all. This sounds awful. And I was getting nearer and closer and closer. I think I'm going to go out the coward's gate and just forget it. I'm going to say I went on it and didn't go on it because I went all on my own. And I was about to go out the gate. There was this little girl. She was about 6-year-old getting on the ride before me. I thought, just go on it. And with roller coasters, if you just get your mind and just think, come on, and just don't fear it. They're just ace. They're all really good. You've just an icon. Is unbelievable, isn't it? Really good, it's phenomenal, and it's not even a scary ride. It's just so powerful and so fast that it's absolutely exhilarating. It's amazing. You'll love it. The speed of it just gives you such a thrill. You're like riding a fast motorbike or something. It's an incredible feeling. It's so powerful. It's a brilliant ride. The big one goes up really high, but really. The drop isn't all that bad because they kind of halved it down, so it kind of goes halfway and then drops. It's not as bad as you think as it was originally, where it had a drop right from the top, but it kind of comes half and then twists again.
I would maybe start on something entry level and then build your way up. So I started getting feel sick now. I never used to on roller coasters, but sometimes now I start to feel a little bit woozy. So whether that's because I eat before I go on, I don't know. Need to try and manage that. Take some travel sickness pills maybe before I go next time. Ryan says he's only 24 but loves the old shows, and if you pre-book tickets for the Pleasure Beach, you'll get a pre-order form for food with your email.
Oh, very good.
That's cool.
Yeah, chess live, tough as hell. I can imagine it is. Yeah, really. Ben saying excellent stream. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks,
and Ben's mum, Napper's mum. Another fabulous, wonderful afternoon, guys. Grateful,
Oh,
loved it.
great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
We've enjoyed.
We
have enjoyed. Middlesbrough have got 1 back against Cardiff, and Preston have gone 2-0 up in 90 minutes plus 2. So it's almost all over. Surely Middlesbrough can't come back with 2 goals in injury time, can they?
Daniel says he's been playing FIFA and going to the park every day for his running. He's been doing running for about 394 days. Wow, that's amazing.
There is a roller coaster club, and people travel the world going on roller coasters. Yeah, we've been watching, or I've been watching this theme park worldwide, and they come to Blackpool all the time. And I've noticed there's a big roller coaster community, isn't it? It's massive. It's really massive.
Ryan says Disneyland Paris didn't actually get off to a good start, as the French never really took to Disney, and Rock and Roller Coaster no longer there. And
is it not there anymore?
Icon, made by one of the best coaster manufacturers. It just looks beautiful. Icon. It's just a stunning beast. Yeah, I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was just like, it just looks so good. The colours, the design, it's really beautiful.
Well, it's very sad that Blackpool didn't get Euro Disney when they had the chance. It was all scuppered by the Thompson family, wasn't it? And there was a lot of they were against it, obviously, with the Pleasure Beach, and it would have been out where the De Vere is and out that way, and it would have been amazing, and we would have done it just as good as the Americans do it. I mean, if you've ever been to like Euro Disney and you've been to Disney in Florida, it's like there's no comparison. The French are not friendly at all, whereas the Americans are just so friendly.
John says it's the
magical.
G-force. Is that what makes me feel sick? Would travel sickness tablets help with that?
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel sick.
It never used to make me feel sick. I used to be fine. I used to go on them all, but it's just a more recent thing since
the one ride that did make me really sick. I went to Alton Towers. I went on their air ride. I don't know if you've ridden on air, but you kind of lie underneath. You start off like lying face down, and you go out, but then as you go halfway around, it turns upside down. So you end up lying on your back, going backwards, and then you go backwards over on the outside over a loop. And honestly, I felt, it ruined the day. I couldn't, honestly, 2 hours, I couldn't go on anything. And kids would say, "Come on, Dad," and I was like, "I'm not going on Sonic Spinball. You're having a laugh. I'm not going on that either." No, it was awful. I couldn't go on any ride. I felt so sick, and so I'll never go on air again. Never.
Mr. Moley,
I really like the look of it.
Says, talking of chess, I used to play a lot with old folk. Had to stop when I couldn't find 32 of them. Oh. Do you make these up?
Fleet was in lockdown, but no one notices. One last joke from Nick. Nick continually sticks the knife into Fleetwood. It's probably because they keep beating you, Nick. That's the problem, isn't it? You can't beat them at home, so they're like a little terrier that keeps coming and annoying you. Keeps biting your ankles.
It's nearly 5 o'clock.
It is nearly 5 o'clock, but we're waiting, aren't we, for the final scores?
John says to best eat an hour before a roller coaster.
Is it?
I always like I just love the hot donuts.
Do they hate Euro Disney, the French? I didn't know they hated it, but they certainly.
Well, I guess it's sort of American, isn't it? And they're very French, aren't they? The French.
I don't know why they put it in France.
Hull are down, basically. Yeah, Hull. But it's just. Yeah,
Oh, Icon is manufactured by Germans. The Mack rides.
Yeah, Hull are down because they've got to get 3 points to get out of the. Well, actually, no.
90 plus 6.
They're not necessarily, because if you put
Blackburn have scored against Reading 4-3.
If you put Wigan down in there on 46, then Hull could.
What does that do to Blackburn?
Hull could overtake Wigan, and they could overtake Luton with if the goal difference improves. What was the question? Sorry.
Blackburn have just gone in the lead against Reading 4-3.
Yes.
What does that do to them?
It puts them 10th.
Oh, right, they're still out.
They are.
We don't like them either. Fulham are beating Sheffield Wednesday 5-3. Hull are beating full time. We're still just waiting. Preston full time 2-0.
Ben says the Ipswich team have been in lockdown since Christmas. Oh, I do like your banter.
Good on you. Yes, it is a point. It is a point. It is. What do you think about that, Nick? Have you been in lockdown since Christmas? I think you have. You've been on a terrible run. Ipswich just blew it completely.
Well, if you want to take this outside, guys.
I thought you were nailed on for promotion, Nick.
Mr. Morley, I realised I was getting old after feeling unwell for 24 hours after going on the waltzers at a fairground. Connor was fine. I was a complete mess.
Yeah, you know, I went to
I
went to a theme park. I don't know if you've been to with the two boys when they're young, called Gulliver's World, which is just purely a theme park for young kids. And they took me on the spinning teacup things, but there was a table in the middle, and they could like spin it around like that and make it go really fast. And I was so sick. I'd only been on a teacup ride. Oh my god, I just can't do spinning around rides. Are just
I used
not
to
for
love
me.
them. I really used to love them. But yeah, I did have a bit of a gap, and then when I went back, no, just can't.
It should have been in Blackpool, Nick. You know, we had the chance to have Euro Disney back in the 70s, and we turned it down. And I don't know why we ever did. It's crazy.
I've been unwell for 24 hours after a flight. Sort of, again, that's something that I don't think used to happen. It's like I have a real problem with my sinuses. If as the plane starts descending, if I sniff, then I just get, I don't know, it's all this air in my sinuses. I just get the most paralyzing headache and feel so sick. So now, you know, when the plane starts descending, I know I've not got to sniff, or else it can be really bad for a long time.
They're still playing.
A funny thing.
Still playing at Middlesbrough. 90+6. It's still 3-1. Ryan saying Theme Park Worldwide's fantastic channel. Yeah, they've actually got some masks as well that they designed, which they're wearing this time. And I thought that's really cool. We ought to have some Leeds TV masks. So we might look into it, getting masks made with Leeds TV that you can buy. It'd be pretty cool. I don't know if would anybody be interested in a Leeds TV social distancing mask. We might look at getting one designed. It'd be pretty cool.
Nick Muller, Ben, don't need a season ticket, plenty of empty seats, so no social distance when they go back. Right, you guys take this outside if you want to carry on. We're off now. We're not facilitating.
Larry Grayson wasn't in lockdown. He was just useless from Christmas. He was just.
He should have been locked down since Christmas. We might have done a bit better.
Yeah, should have been locked down maybe. Come on,
right.
Come on, blow the final whistle. Oh, full time. Cardiff have beaten Middlesbrough 3-1. Preston out of the playoffs. This is a fantastic end to Leeds TV at 3. So glad you all came along to witness.
Hang on, we can't go. John Walters has said bus rides give me wind. What, really? What, like the motion of the buses? Is that really a thing, or is that just people?
Yeah, Camelot's gone. Yeah, there's not Frontierland in Morecambe. Yeah, both gone. It's just
something new and exciting is happening in Morecambe. Is it? Did I read that?
Yes, it is a fact about Euro Disney and Blackpool. We did turn it down. We had the chance. I think because
Could you taught Mr. Moley something he didn't know?
Wow. Yeah, you need to research that. Yeah, we definitely turned down. It was a very big thing at the time in Blackpool. A lot of people were very disappointed about it, but it was apparently, the Thompson family had a lot of pull in Blackpool at the time, and they didn't want Euro Disney coming in. Daniel, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for telling us all about good luck with Chelsea over United. I hope we get you 1-0, and I do hope you get to interview the managers. It'd be great for your channel. Yeah. We'll be here Tuesday night, 8 o'clock for our quiz. We'll be back here again next Saturday. Hopefully YouTube won't let us down like they did this time. I couldn't get on the live stream, but we managed to get on just a couple of minutes late.
We'll sort it out by then. So I have every faith in our technical department.
So bye for now. I can ride my motorbike without getting wind. Ben, thanks for being here, and thanks for watching us.
Yeah, see you Tuesday for the
quiz, guys. Thanks for all the chat and making it, carry on. Because without you guys, honestly, and thank you to Will White for all the 79p's. We really appreciate it. So we're gonna go. And we will see you on Tuesday, or if not, we'll see you next Saturday at 3. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye.